Here we go.
You're listening to That Good Old Stick Drift. We are a bi-weekly show where we talk about the world of video games and the culture surrounding them. I'm Power Glover, and with me this week and forever is...
Noah Rada.
If you like it or you hate it, please would you rate it, follow the rule of cool, and leave a like on the mic. You can find us on YouTube at StickDriftPodYT, on Twitter /X at StickDriftYT, and lastly on our Facebook page, Stick Drift. We're also on Spotify. Each of our content has its own channel, so for a specific podcast, please subscribe to each to make sure you get the newest audio content in your feed. Now, how the heck are we doing this week? We tired? I'm a little bit tired, too.
Yep, been a long week. We're only halfway through, but, we'll make it through. That's just part of life.
Yeah, we're just tanking it. We're just tanking it
We're
right
drifting.
now. We're
drifting.
Yes, we're always drifting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who we are.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Gotta drift.
Yeah. So how was your weekend? I think I can see your weekend behind you.
Yeah. I ended up finding a new CRT. By new, I mean aged, well-aged, finely aged.
New to you. Yeah.
Yep. And it's a bit of a beast, 32-inch screen, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's that Sony Trinitron, right?
Yep, Sony Trinitron, the very best.
Yeah, the best in CRT anything. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want it, it's your holy grail. You know what I mean?
Yep. If you're a CRT guy, you already know what a Sony Trinitron is, and you're like, yeah, those things are awesome. If you don't, well, Sony Trinitron, that's the way you want to go. If you see one out in the wild, like I did with this one, just grab it. That's what you want. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Got
That's
it from
beautiful.
good old Game World, right?
Yep. Good old Game World.
Coming in clutch. Where was it? Was it just like sitting on a counter or what?
No, it was just sitting on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the new place that you guys have, right?
Yeah, yep. They moved locations on us, and so they're just like down the road. But I was there looking at mostly PlayStation and like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. Also looked like what they had it for PlayStation 4, just cause. That's what I was mainly there for. I just I want to look at some PlayStation stuff. That's all I've really been collecting recently. So, so I got done looking through all that, and I turn around and see this big clunky TV on the floor, and I'm like, what is going on here? What is this? I'm like, oh, that's a Sony Trinitron, and I'm like, oh, that's a good price. All right, well I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. I've never seen one out in the wild like that. Just in pretty much perfect condition, and it was great. It was a awesome find, and I seemed to be the only one in the store who noticed it. So I don't know. I don't know if they're not exactly selling like hotcakes or whatever, but for me that was a prize find for me. So.
Yeah, it's like the Cadillac of CRTs. Like people love Trinitrons.
Yeah. Yep.
I had one just like it. It looked pretty much the same. That's what I played Dark Souls 1 on through my 360 with AV cables.
Nice.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, the 360. Yeah, that came with AV cables, didn't it? Like that didn't even come with HDMI. You had to buy the HDMI separately when it released, right?
You had to buy the cable separately, but it had a port for it for your HD gaming, baby.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep. That was right when they were moving towards the HD. So, yeah.
Yes. They saw the 1080i future, and they were like, hell yeah, let's be a part of it. But you got to buy a cord. You know?
Right, yeah. Nintendo didn't quite get that memo when they put out the Wii. They were like, AV's good enough. We'll just do the 480. 480p's fine with us.
Someone asked them about HDMI ports. They're like, what the hell is that? Is it another color of cord you got to plug in?
Right. Saying I've got 480i behind me. Technically, it's 480 interlaced because it's making like double the lines, scanning double the lines. It's hard to tell unless if you're looking for it, but it does like wibble wobble up and down if you pay close.
That's what you want, though.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah,
you want those. You want your TV to feel alive, man. Like the digital magic is jumping off the screen. That's what I liked about playing really anything on CRT is just there's that comfort of the kind of the light up. It's like a warm sort of thing, and there's a nice hum, and whenever it turns off, you feel the static still on the screen.
Oh yeah. Saying this one's funny because it won't actually turn the picture on until after it's all warmed up. So like you'll hit like the power button and like it'll just sit there for a second, and then it'll actually kick on once everything's like spun up and the magnet's like all ready to go and all that, because it's got a lot to warm up. So I get it taking its time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. CRT game, man. I need another CRT. I have a TV that is AV capable.
Yeah. And
I play my Wii through it, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same. It's like a 1080p TV. It honestly pretty sharp. It's pretty.
I've got a small one that I can part with if you really need one. I mean, I'm just hoarding it at this point because I've already got this one and the other one I had in here. Then I had a smaller one, maybe like an 18-inch, 20-inch, somewhere around there. I might have room for an 18-inch TV. Yeah, it's a real small one. Let's talk. Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, listen, I'll be...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be
that
down
thing, it's light, too. I mean,
weeks.
you can lift it with one arm and be just fine. Like it... Okay, maybe not one arm.
Yeah, well... Hopefully we can see... hopefully we can see each other in a couple weeks. I mean, I'll make an effort. I'll be down just to celebrate the anniversary with the wife, and we're going to be doing some stuff around Branson and Springfield and Ozark. And
I just want to see it go to a good home is all I care about, because I don't really have good. Yeah, I don't have good use for 3 of them, so.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too many CRTs.
Yeah. I mean, I would find a way, but it's certainly better to see it go to a good home. So where it's going to get lots of use.
It's a good way to get your multi-monitor life going. Just have a bunch of CRTs.
I'd say
get a splitter in there.
That's how I do all my work on PCs is multi-monitor. I got into that in college and never looked back. It was actually when I was working an IT job, they kind of had multi-monitor setups there, and I'm like, oh, I never heard of this before, because I've never heard of people having multiple of them. I'm like, oh yeah, you just have a monitor and a computer, that's what normal people do. But no, they had multiple ones, and then I'd go see I'd have roommates in college, or go hang out with people, and they'd have multiple monitors. I'm like, why does everyone have multiple monitors? I'm used to just having my laptop and the laptop screen, and I thought that was bougie, but
Did you have the the coding one as well?
The
long one?
Yeah. So
the Tate
I had a lot of people. I knew a lot of people who did that. I would never adopted that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I do run 3 monitors as just kind of my go-to. When I'm using stuff for entertainment, I have one with a Discord chat up, and then the other 2 are my primary ones, and then when I'm working, I actually usually only end up using 2 of them at once, but I have the 3rd one if I need to pull something up. So
nice living that multi-monitor setup with the Plum. That's good for you. I have the one TV set up. when I eventually get the dogs out of the spare room we have, I will make an office area / guest room, put a bed in there for when we have another one, another kid, and yeah, we'll make that the office. That's the plan. I'm gonna try to get through the summer a little bit and start buying little pieces here, little bits and bobs, desk, chair, monitor, just little bits until I have everything. But
Yeah.
it's gonna happen this year. I'm tired of waiting for it. Like I feel like I'm like hamstringing myself at this point not having one. So
Sure.
it's time. So it's time.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's also time is time to talk about some stuff I've been cooking up. I have been reviewing some video games. I have beaten two, one new, one slightly new video games, and then another pretty much brand new game that I'll get to in the games portion. But the two written reviews that I got done last week, and I got another one done today. I've been kind of just churning crap out. Is I beat Blueprints, wrote a review on that on my Substack. Fantastic game. I'll get to it in the games portion. Really worth your time. Frustrating in some spots, but it's kind of the nature of the design. Without it, it's not as novel. The second one, I beat Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I know that the title just flows off your tongue. It is the best PS2 game ever. It's fantastic. I honestly missed out on it last year because I was playing Metaphor, and had I got it done earlier, Metaphor, I would have fit that in. It would have been on my top 10 of last year. Very, very good game. And then finally, the review I kind of knocked out today was for Star Wars Outlaws. So, yeah, 3 banger games. Outlaws less so in some ways. It's not like perfect. It's good. It's not like great, but it's good. The stuff that gets done right is really right.
Games are allowed to just be good. Not every game
Yeah,
has
no,
to be
and
a
I liked it.
blockbuster. Yeah.
I liked it. I had some problems with it, which I mentioned in the last podcast. The progression bugs I had with it, and the stealth is just god awful. Like it's not good. I'm so surprised why they even have it in there. But anyway, I finished that. I will have some spoken reviews of those coming out soon. Some Final Destinations you guys can expect. Probably be recording those in the next few days ish. We'll see. But yeah, I'm using kind of like those reviews as a template to kind of crib off of while I record voice, So it's nice to kind of have a plan first, and it encourages me to like write out my thoughts before I present it in a more concise way, So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But yeah, and the game I beat is Clair Obscur, which I will be extolling the virtues of here very shortly. So, yeah, I guess yeah. As for new video games, I guess that's where we should start. Did you play anything new besides Doll's Nest recently, or has it just been kind of backlog station for you?
Yeah, I think it's been about just backlog stuff for me.
Yeah.
Like revisiting a couple like live servicey things here and there, but not mostly just backlog for me. I've been really trying to hit that backlog. So
yeah. So you'll definitely have more of that portion covered for this podcast because I pretty much just played all new stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to hear about what you've been getting up to, specifically with Final Fantasy VI. I like hearing gritty details about stuff like that. So yeah, for the new video games is we'll do the prize pony, I guess. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I beat that game. I did some side stuff, not a ton. It took me about 25 hours to see the main story through. Man, oh man. I think what I mentioned last podcast still holds water. I think that combat system is just the best combat system I've ever played for an RPG. It's really has to do with your defensive capabilities, like having a way to basically go, hitless in like boss fights is just extraordinary. It feels so landmark and innovative. I'm surprised not a lot of games have done this sort of thing. It kind of comes from the the Paper Mario of it all, where you can kind of mitigate damage.
I think did Super Mario RPG also do that or not?
I think slightly. It's more
I know
prevalent in
I
the
know it
Paper
had
Mario
like
games.
the QuickTime events.
Mm-hmm.
There were some QuickTime events in Super Mario RPG, but it was definitely the first time you could actually do like a parry action was in Thousand Year Door. I know that much because before you could do a guard action to reduce in like Paper Mario 64. I'm not familiar with Mario RPG, but I'm extremely familiar with the first two Paper Mario games, as well as Sticker Star, but that's neither here nor there. But
We don't talk about Sticker Star.
yeah, it's a game that's allowed to be good, but games don't have to be games don't have to always be blockbusters. Like I said, like the games can just be good, and I think Sticker Star is just good personally. But
yeah, some people straight up hate that game, and I'm glad you're not those people, because I think there is some merit to that.
There
game
is.
Specifically.
Yeah, well, I'm the guy that likes Bubsy 3D, so yeah. Take
Okay,
it
well, don't listen to his opinion, guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
clearly.
just check yourself out while you're ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is that sort of give and take, retaliation counter based system, and I just think it is brilliant, man. Like it's just having this suite of tools at your disposal, defensive options, counter opportunities. Like I was going hitless on the final boss because I had just gotten so good at playing it, and like, you know, routinely I would go. A couple party members would go down. It's a three party member system, initially for like a full party.
Yeah.
And when they all go down, the last two in your reserve are able to play. So it's not like a, hey, I have these people out and the people the people I have in reserve don't even fight. It's like everybody has a chance to take down this thing. So you kind of get two cracks at it with two teams, which is nice. It's a team of three and a team of two, or one, however you want to do it.
leveling them up, like, do you have to like level them up separately, or do they all level as a party?
They level as a party.
That's nice.
Everybody gets XP share. There's just really good. There's like a really good skill tree that is, that unlocks potent abilities that matter. The thing that bothers me a lot in RPGs is like this gets you point, like, or this is a 2% chance that, like, get away with that. It's higher percentages for higher things. Nice perks, like for instance, there's like in the higher skill tree points, you get like, it costs like 9 action points to do, but when you do it, you'll use them all, do crazy damage, and you'll like put shields on yourself, which are like 1 hit apiece,
Yeah.
And it's like stuff like that. Like all the skills really matter, and it's just a beautiful systemic. I don't know. It's like a systemic potpourri of brilliance. I just think it is immaculately designed, and plays just brilliantly. I think I prefer it over Metaphor purely because of the defensive counter capabilities. That's just how I feel. Yeah. I have more fun engaging with this, I think. And that's not to really disparage Metaphor at all. But
I like the combat system of Metaphor. I think that's one of the best ones that I've seen in an RPG lately. I still think that the Brave system from like Bravely Default and Octopath is probably the greatest RPG system of all time to me. But it's mainly because it was like literally the first RPG system I ever really interacted with, so it's the one that like feels the most natural to me. It's like, I press this so many times and I can have a layaway of I'm spending actions early, and so I have to or I can save up actions, and so
having like a stockpile of moves is cool.
That system was always nice. But I also understand like the people like Paper Mario, so people are gonna like when you give them Paper Mario in like a a fully realized big boy sort of RPG experience, then that's gonna be fun.
It just feels sharpened to its like its pointiest tip. Like they saw all their inspirations, they whittled it down to the finest point they could, and it just feels so great. It almost feels like a real-time action game if you are flowing. Like it really does. I can't extol the virtues of that game enough when it comes to the playing of it. I was obsessed.
So you're thinking
playing
you like that better than the Final Fantasy VII remake combat?
It's tough because they're kind of two different things.
Okay.
I would say Final Fantasy VII remake is more real time.
Yeah.
It has the option to be turn based. I know. I mean, I've played almost 100 hours of remake, and then 50 some of the sequel Rebirth, and
Yeah.
very familiar with that battle system. But it is more real time third person action with some menuing. I think it's the best hybrid combat system I've played. I think this is the best turn based system I've played, like strictly turn based.
Yeah.
There's like real time elements for sure, but
Yeah.
it's not like governed only by that. You know what I mean?
A lot of the discourse I've heard surrounding this game is like basically sort of barraging or berating Square Enix, because they're like, yeah, you guys said that people don't want to see turn-based RPGs, but here's a really successful modern turn-based RPG that feels like real time without being real time, and they're like, you guys are moving away from the sort of turn-based RPG, but that I feel like that's not fair, because Final Fantasy has always moved away from turn-based. Like they invented the freaking what do they call it, the quick system, what's that called, the
active time
battle. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yep, active time battle. Yeah, they literally invented that. Like they've been using that since like the SNES era, I think. So
yeah, and let's be real, like people get mad about Final Fantasy all the time. Like the thing about Final Fantasy is that it is always different. Like that is the point.
Yep.
I mean, they share visual identities, they share worlds, characters' names. There's a Cid in every Final Fantasy. Like
there sure is.
Combat's different from game to game. Like it's really like, I don't know. I feel like people just need to chill out a little bit, because you're going to get that Final Fantasy IX remake, and it's going to be what you want. I mean, it's just going to be what you want. They're not going to change it. It's a remake in the way that it's a faithful adaptation without being like a complete reimagining like Final Fantasy VII is. I just think people need to chill out with that stuff. Like I agree that they should do a faithful kind of turn-based system for Final Fantasy again. I think that would be the way to go for a new game. I feel like going too far into the Devil May Cry-ness of it for 16, including getting the director of the combat for that game, maybe was a bridge too far for people.
And
it felt like
16.
it was. I like it personally.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that it's different. It's
I like
fun.
the
Also,
characters. I've seen some of like the characters on the Magic the Gathering cards that are being teased for that upcoming set, and I'm like, ooh, these characters look kind of clean though.
Yeah, no, Clive
they
is
transform into the freaking what do they call them? They don't call them espers. That's 6. Icons. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
cool.
yeah, it's very cool.
Main
and
dude
I
just
like that game.
transforms into Ifrit. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. That game is good. I do like that game. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, people don't like that game. People don't think that game is a Final Fantasy game because it doesn't feel like one. It's very different. You don't have a normal party. You play as one character, Clive. It is combat heavy. It feels even more real time than even Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy is, or duology now. It's just a different thing. And I feel like I understand where people are coming from with the Clair Obscur comparison, but Final Fantasy is always going to change things up. That's how it is.
That's how they do.
That's how they do. That's how they always done. People have always been pissed about Final Fantasy because it's always not what they want.
It's always different. If you go from 1 to 2, it's very different. 1 and 2 are very, very, very different RPGs.
Yeah, and listen, people love 7, but the people that like 6 more were pissed that 7 existed and took up all the oxygen. That's just the truth.
Absolutely. 7 is a completely different beast than any other Final Fantasy before it. Like it
really is
extremely different. And then like they're like, oh, this is the direction we have to go now, so we're just gonna do 7 again. So they did 8, and that didn't turn out great. So we're like, oh crap, go run it back, do a normal one, and then they did 9.
Yeah,
Nine's
like
awesome.
the closest sibling to 7 is 9. Like, I mean, because they wanted to go back to the basics. And then 10 is a bridge even further that way too. So.
8 is like the closest one to 7, because like while they changed up like the battle system, like some of like the mechanics a little bit, like the setting, it's like very, very, very 7, and the characters are very 7. Like you could put Squall in 7, and he'd look right at home in there.
Oh yeah, you could switch Squall for Cloud, and you wouldn't lose much. Like, genuinely,
really. No,
they're very similar.
They're about the same character, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, very brooding archetype. Like, that's just how it is.
You could even switch. What's the girl from 8? You could switch her for Aerith, and that'd probably be the same too.
Oh yeah, what's her name? Renoa? No, that's not right.
That's right. That's right. Renoa's right. Yep. Because Garnet is from 9. I know that much.
That's right. Okay, I was thinking of Garnet because of the whole.
They look really similar.
Yeah. The whole fiasco. But yeah, not to get, I mean, we've kind of gone off into Final Fantasy land, but how could you not make that comparison, because this game harkens back to that. Like, you see this game and you're like, these people love them some Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
Like, really love Final Fantasy X.
Yep.
And they wear their inspirations on their screen. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, obviously the French influence is overwhelming, and it's beautifully designed, brilliantly orchestrated game. But like, you see a lot of From Software DNA here, like a lot, especially in the world environment design. There's some like the main antagonist, at least initially for the game, is the Paintress, and she seems like she could be like a Dark Souls boss. Like, you just see her in the distance.
Okay, so you're saying
on the map,
from like Souls influence, okay?
Like From Software.
No, I just mean like, because From Software can be like a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I do mean the Souls. Primarily. It feels like the visual language is pretty congruous from that to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just a lot of. It feels like a blender game. Like, you're putting a bunch of awesome ideas into one thing, stitching it together in an excellent way, which I'll kind of get to when I talk about Outlaws in a bit. Stitching it together to make it a coherent thought, coherent piece of art. And I just think they do it a lot better than I've seen for any first-time studio. Like, it's shocking this is their first game as a studio.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that. It feels like it's a veteran pro sort of studio. Like, they really knocked it out of the park. I cannot stress that enough. It feels like French Xenoblade, dude. Like, that's what it feels like.
I could see
so no wonder I like it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, first off, I wish French people were real, But,
yeah. Well, it's too bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. But, like, it feels thematically resonant like a Xenoblade game is. The story, it takes so many turns. I was sobbing by the end. Last night when I beat it, sobbing. I've never cried so hard at the ending of a game. Something happened at the end I could not believe. I was like, there's no way this happened. Yeah, I think it is one of the best RPGs I've ever played. It has some of the best characters in any game. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into spoilers because it's so new. But like, there's some stuff in here, man, where they do some stuff. You know what I'm talking about. You saw it happen. They do some stuff with characters in here that is frankly daring. And it's just, man, it is a special video game. The music is just stellar too, I have to say. It is one of the main highlights of this thing. There's this character, he becomes a party member, which is, no secret. He's in the trailers. His name is Monoko. He's kind of like this hairy wooden guy. He was like kind of reanimated, like this kind of like a ramshackle fella. But he's got this great theme that is so like out of step with the rest of the game. It goes like wub 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 wub, and you're like, yeah, Monoko's theme is great. And then they pull out like saxophones and stuff. You're like, this is awesome. The humor is brilliant. The writing is so mature. It's like the thing what we said about Metaphor. It's people that are mature, that are platonic for the most part. There is some little hanky panky there for a couple characters, which is cool. But it's a mature story for mature characters, and I really, really like that.
That's what
another thing we were talking about. We were talking about fun. Yeah.
That's what gamers want these days. That's what I was just gonna say. Is like that. That's really what we want. Is just like give us a mature story. Like don't give us like weird high schoolers going after their teachers. Like give us some just meaningful story that we can latch onto with characters that feel like real people and not just like weird teenagers.
Yeah, and there is a teenage character in here, which she's very important.
It's fine.
Her role for sure, but she's not being leered at by the older people in her party. And stuff.
That would be not good. That like we should call that out if that happens. That. Like that isn't a good thing.
But that's like what a Persona game would have
exactly.
done. Like,
yes, that is what a Persona game would have done. I completely agree, and I don't think it should be doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And just to kind of end it, like the Final Fantasy-ness of it all.
Yeah.
The main voice actor for Clive is a very prominent character in this game, Ben Starr, who is a fantastic voice actor. He's in a million things now because he became famous because of the Final Fantasy voice acting gig. He plays a character. His name is Verso. He is very integral to the story, and he does fantastic work. Like it's up there with like Arthur Morgan in Red Dead, and what's his name? The guy that played the Silent Hill 2 protagonist, James. It's up on that level for performance capture, for quality. Like it's an incredible job. I just think that game is immaculate. It is one of the best things I've ever played, and I want everyone to play it because it is so special, so special. And I have a ton of stuff to do still. Like there's all this side quests you can do. You have to fight these. They're kind of like the weapons in Final Fantasy VII, where you kind of have to go back and fight them. They're called like chromatic enemies. So I have like a ton of stuff I have to do. There's like fun mini games, like platforming challenges. Like there's a lot of variety here that I haven't seen, that I'm excited to kind of tap into. So yeah, that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Don't wait. Please buy this game. It is so worth your time. It is going to probably be my game of the year. I would see it might be even an all-timer for me. Like I know I kind of talk in grandiose ways sometimes, but I feel very, very strongly about this game. Very strong.
Fair enough.
Please get it. It's $50. It is so worth your time. 100%. So I will be reviewing that at some point. We'll see kind of when I get to it. But yeah, a couple things I'll talk about while we're still in these new video games is, first of all, Dune: The Dark Ages comes out tonight. That's exciting. I'll be playing more of that for next pod. Hopefully I'll finish it by next pod, and I can actually talk at length about it, which is cool. And then I'll talk a little bit about the reviewed games I wrote this past week or so. I'll keep it pretty brief for the first two. Space Marine 2. Keep it nice and easy for everyone that's interested in that game. Like our friend Slade. He likes Warhammer, and I like some Warhammer. I'm not the most knowledgeable guy about Warhammer, but I know some cool stuff when I see it. And this game got some cool stuff.
Nice.
Got some real cool stuff. I don't know. I just think it plays really well. It's really engaging. Like there's a lot of fun things you're doing. Like you're just mowing down fools, dude. It feels good while you're doing it. I really liked playing it. It wasn't that long. It was like 10 hours to kind of run through the campaign. And just like Expedition 33, there's like some more stuff to do at the end. You can play with some friends, do some like multiplayer stuff. It's just a good ass time. It's a video game. So
how would you compare this to like a Helldivers then, I guess? Because I've always seen this one compared to Helldivers.
Yeah. So they are different things when it comes to like it being a single player game primarily, to Helldivers to being a multiplayer focused game.
Yep.
It scales like a single player game. You're not going to have a difficult time beating this. Like if you play Helldivers by yourself, you're going to get wiped.
Right.
But they tune it for multiple people joining your party. There are 2 squad members in your kind of chapter that you run around with, and those would be like your insert player here sort of thing. But it's not as difficult as Helldivers is like punitive how tough it is sometimes. So, yeah, it's similar where you're mowing down hordes of enemies for sure. But you're even like doing the battle cries similar to like Helldivers, where you're just like oh, for the what do they say? They have like that saying in Helldivers too. But anyway, in Space Marine 2, they're going like for the Imperium, for the Emperor. There's something like patriotic about it all. I really like that.
Yep.
You're just mowing down fools and speaking the praises of your dead emperor. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome stuff. Really enjoyed it. If you see it on sale, pick it up. It's a really good game. Like I said, I'll be doing another Final Destination on that. So just a quick check-in for that. I beat that in the last couple weeks. Really, really good. The game I was the most mixed on was Star Wars Outlaws. I think it's a good game. The things it does right, it does super right. The Star Wars-ness of it is there. It feels like a Star Wars game. Like when you walk into a cantina, it feels like you are in that cantina and you're seeing a bunch of strange people doing normal things. I love that about that game. Also, I mentioned last podcast the speeder being really good, like going across water. It never got old my entire time through. And I think that game is very competent. It's more than competent. It's not the best Star Wars game they've ever put out, especially recently, but it's definitely worth a couple dineros for sure. Get that on sale. I think the stealth in that game is just trash. It's just so bad. So I was shocked how bad it was. I'm like, why is this even in here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had a mechanic in games where you're just like this game is good, but like this mechanic like almost makes me hate it, kind of. Have you ever had that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
I would say
because that's how I feel.
Like with Sonic Adventure 2, for instance, like I'd say like like at some point trying to do like the treasure hunts and like the mech battles or the mech levels and like getting like A rank on like the hardest difficulties on the hardest ones of those, it can get a little bit exhausting. Like those definitely get a bit exhausting. Like I can put up with them, it's fine, but like sometimes like especially the treasure hunts where they're like randomized, like if you don't get good locations for your for the like gems, like sometimes you're just boned out of an A rank because it just takes you too long to get from one end of the map to the other to find them all. So
yeah there's it like the stealth was so bad it made me go like, do I really even like this game? Like really, because you're kind of forced to jump back into combat because the stealth just breaks all the time. It's just the worst crime it has is it's inconsistent and punitive. Like once you get caught, like your main character Kay is not the most should we say like strong person in the world, not because she's a woman, it's because she for some reason they tuned her difficulty through the health. Like you get shot twice, you're like you're hurt, so even on normal difficulties. But yeah, that game is good, not great. There's some fit and finish issues I have with it. It's not the most polished thing in the world, but I respect the heck out of it because it's different, and I think that it's a big deal for a game in the Star Wars universe to not have a lightsaber in it, and this does not have one at all for anything. There's no secret like you're a Jedi business, nothing. I mean, you see Darth Vader because it's a Star Wars game, but he doesn't even turn on his lightsaber, I'll put it that way. So check that game out if you like. I think it's underrated. I think it's underrated. It's a lot better than people say.
It's a really weird way to phrase that.
I guess.
He doesn't turn on his lightsaber.
What I mean is that it's a Star Wars game, and they like them some Jedis / Sith, and their weapon of choice is usually a lightsaber. But he basically, but what Darth Vader does, he just aura farms and then leaves. That's what happens. So, yeah, I know you're having a hard time, but He's just dying over here. All right, moving on. No more loose wire jokes.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
That one got, man, I think I broke Noah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me this guy. Just the more I dwell on it, the more like, man, that just did not come out the way he wanted it to. But that's funny.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think about it at all. I did not even think about it.
Oh man.
But that's why you're
that.
here. You're here as my peanut gallery.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that was good.
Good. I'm glad you had some fun. That's good. It cleans out the pipes, you know.
That's right.
For the last game I reviewed, it is Blueprints. I told you a little bit about Blueprints, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's this roguelike first person dungeon crawler kind of thing. People like I said, they called it like a deck builder. It's not a deck builder. It's like a roguelike gone home. That's what it feels like. That game is good. It's great even in a lot of ways. The fact that it's a roguelike severely damages this game because once you know what to do, where to go, what to find, you are basically praying for good rolls on things. Like good layouts to show up for rooms with the right things you need to unlock the final room 46. And basically, like, I was ready to finish that game for like the last 3 to 4 hours, and the game just did not give me anything I needed to do that. And I knew what to do, where to go, and everything, and it's just nothing, you know. And it was very frustrating. It like dampened my enjoyment by the end. I think structurally, besides the RNG chaos, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant game. The story that they tell is awesome. It's like in that pantheon of games you play in your head that I always talk about, like Outer Wilds and Oberdin, that sort of thing. It feels like on that level. But like for all the care that they take to build the game and its systems, the fact that it's left up to chance like really rubs me the wrong way. But like without it, it's not as interesting of a game. Like it's just not. So you're kind of, it's two sides of the same coin, you know. You cannot have one without the other, and it inherently makes it more special. It works more often than it doesn't, but it's not the cleanest exercise, I think. So Blueprints is a great game that is marred by chaotic intervention, I'll put it that way. You just have to pray you get the right thing, and maybe you do. And maybe I don't know how to manipulate the RNG mechanics to allow for that to happen. It could be just a failing of myself. I don't know. But yeah, Blueprints was good. Final Destination for that incoming. Yeah, that's the last of my written review stuff. And then one check-in with Split Fiction. I was playing it with the wife. And that game is great. It's super good. But I have to tell you what happened. Oh my god. Okay, so we're playing this game. Really enjoying it, digging it. Has some pretty tough difficulty spikes here and there. Not that we couldn't handle. We were kind of passing the controllers back and forth, like, oh, I'm doing this job for this character. You're doing this job, because it's co-op based game. Yep. So you can't play it without a co-op partner. I mean, that's just what Hazelight does, right? Yep. We get to this part, and I think it might have been a side story. Apparently, this game has some like side story mechanics you can do, where you're playing as pigs. Okay. She was a pig that could like extend her neck and then like jump, and it was like a mechanic. And I was a pig that could fart rainbows, and I was flying across the level doing puzzles and stuff. We were having to get these apples for these pig doors, whatever. The basis of this game is like this company is stealing your ideas for books, so you're going through all these ideas in this virtual simulation. So that's why this is all happening. It's an excuse to make a Blender game, put a bunch of mechanics in this thing, and make it look good. We play as these pigs. We do all the puzzles and everything. We're laughing. We're having a good time. I kid you not. We go down this slide as these pigs. Oh my god. I about blacked out laughing about what happened. The pigs go through a meat grinder, die, blood everywhere. Like at the end of this wooden slide, you're like, oh, I'm going down this fun slide. Down this meat grinder, die. They get ground out, turned into hot dogs. Hot dogs. We both play hot dogs. We jump onto a grill, toast ourselves, ketchup mustard ourselves, jump into buns, and we get eaten. It is maybe the greatest gameplay experience I've ever had in my life. It is so good. Oh my god, it was hilarious. When I tell you, I was dying laughing. I needed like an IV by the end of it. Like I was just completely spent. I'm like, am I gonna have to go to the hospital after this? This is insane.
That's how I was when I was thinking about Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Hey, listen, black don't crack, all right? Black don't crack. Did you? Okay. I mean, this isn't the racist thing. I'm gonna bring this up. Did you hear the whole thing this week about gingers being black? I thought that was really funny.
No, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know the context really. I think it was just this lady on TikTok that was like, just so you know, and everybody that's got red hair, you guys are black. And everyone was like, hell yeah!
That's so cool, yeah. Wish I had red hair.
Yeah, it came out of the woodwork. Yeah, I saw these gingers come out with do-rags on. I was like, nice, all right,
yeah,
get it.
Go for it, yeah. Apparently you can do that now, so that's great for you.
It's a trend. I don't know. I don't understand.
Cool.
I have 2 redheaded siblings, and maybe they get it, but
maybe
they
get it. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm all for that.
I'm all for inclusivity. I just don't really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. I'm too like, I'm not really in on the latest social trends, but I'm all for it. I support it. If it's inclusive, I support it. That's where I stand.
I support gingers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I've been listening back to our podcast a little bit because I'm vain. I don't know, and I do
Awesome.
Trump a lot. Maybe I should stop being Trump.
Yeah. Stop being Trump. Otherwise, he's gonna catch wind of our podcast, and he's gonna shut us down.
You're not a redhead. Go back. Get out of here.
He's gonna send us to China.
Don't make me pull my mobile home McDonald's. I'm going to. You can't have it. Did you hear about that, dude?
No, I haven't heard about this. No.
Okay. All right. Trump is getting some gifts these days, all right? The political second. Not really, but kind of political second. Another day in the life of Donald Trump. He got, like, this Learjet from the Saudi government. Great. It was, like, $600 billion, whatever it was. Apparently, like, when he was going to visit them or something, they rolled out the red carpet for him where they brought a mobile McDonald's for him.
That's so
to
awesome.
Enter at will. And I'm like, man,
he's living his best life, yeah. I love that for him. They're perfect for each other.
I would like a fish fillet. Get me a fillet of fish or you die.
Oh, man.
Melania, what I wouldn't do for a fillet of fish.
All right. We're gonna have to put a kibosh on the Trump impersonations now. I think that's.
You can't stop me.
That's your last one. It's your last one.
Don't worry, I'm gonna switch to RFK memes. Don't worry.
Perfect. Even better. Let's do it.
It's chlorine in the water. All right, that's enough. I'm done. Monster Hunter. We've been playing some low rank. How's it nice being with a pleb like me?
Yeah, I just get to click the one button. I click attack because I'm playing the greatsword, and that's all I do. I just click attack and attack.
No nuance anymore without the hunting horn. There's
attack.
No nuance.
Attack. Yeah, no, the double hunting horn was kind of nuts, like juggling all of those songs and keeping the buffs on for all those songs. That was funny. That was really funny.
You're like you come from like culinary school where you've learned to make a million things, and then you go back and make a grilled cheese for your kid.
Yeah,
that's what you're feeling right now.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. I love it.
You're like, it's an honest living. It's not hard work, but we're doing it.
Yeah, I just love me some greatsword. I love that weapon. I actually I bought the original Monster Hunter for PlayStation 2, so I'm looking forward to going through with my good old faithful greatsword and just. They don't even have the hunting horn in that one, so I'm just gonna go for it raw and go with that.
Go for it raw, you
say?
That's
right. Yeah.
All right.
Now you've got your hang up.
Blue here. Getting a little blue here, guys. Little color.
That's right.
Oh my god. Nasty boys.
Yeah,
It's been playing some Monster Hunter.
Yep. We've been having fun with our Monster Hunter Wilds gameplay. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I look like a Gundam right now. I have like some nice armor on. I know I'm going to be forced to change it to beat the game, which is going to bum me out, but it's
So
it's fashion. It's high fashion.
You need to play Doll's Nest, then you can really look like a Gundam, because that's exactly what you're supposed
I will
to do.
get right on that. Yep, I will get right on that.
Probably
Only if you
one
play
of the best
Clair
games
Obscur.
of the year. Well, Clair Obscur is like kind of like a B tier game compared to Doll's Nest, but I suppose I can get around to it.
I'm not entertaining this buffoonery. I will not sanction it. Put it that way. He said this about Metaphor, and he was like, I will get around to it.
Yeah, and I
but
did.
He's like,
I got around to it.
I see God's light. He's like, I see God's light. I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling
Metaphor
you.
was an Atlas game. I don't know if I can trust the people that don't even exist to build a game, you know. So
What does that mean?
they don't exist.
What does that mean?
The French, they don't exist.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Atlas. I'm
No.
like, what are you talking about?
Atlas exists.
Oh,
They have a lot of games.
yeah. I wish French people were real. I really
Yeah.
do.
It's too bad.
It's a shame.
Have
they're
you
not. I mean,
have you ever seen that old
Sacre
like
Bleu.
have you Sacre? Get out of here. Have you ever
It took
seen
you a second. It took him a second, guys.
Get out of it. I'm raising the white flag. No more. No more.
I'm gonna start a revolution. You better shut.
You can't be
I'm gonna
starting a revolution every 100 years. It's not a revolution
Let
at
me
that
get my
point.
baguette. Let me get my baguette, and you're done. You're done, son. Oh my god.
America had one 300 or
The
so
French
years
people
ago.
will
That's
take back
about, it's about good enough.
the French are taking back Lady Liberty for that one.
No, they can't have her. She's my waifu.
Did you hear that? People are like so ashamed with the goings on in our country or whatever, and they just go like, the French are going to take Lady Liberty. I'm
They're
like,
gonna
no,
take
they're
her
not. Shut up.
back. That's awesome. I hope they do. That'd be so funny.
I'm like, okay, how you gonna get her? How you gonna get her?
They're just
Try.
gonna
We got our guns,
push her
baby.
onto the boat. They're gonna get a lot of guys. They're gonna push her onto a boat, and they're gonna ship her away. That's what's gonna happen.
You'll never take my liberty. You can't have her. We are off the reservation right now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
What were
Oh my
we
God.
even talking about?
I wish French people were real, Noah.
Oh, right.
They're not
That's
real.
what we're talking about.
Oh, my God.
Did you ever see that
I'm
Meverse
worried that this
post?
podcast is becoming unlistenable.
It probably is, but we're just gonna go for it because
Oh.
will be the unlistenable one. You know, nobody can listen
Yes.
to it. It's
The banned waifu episode. Yes,
yeah,
that's what this is.
we're gonna get banned from all platforms for having opinions. You're not allowed to have opinions anymore, folks.
Can't have the. Nobody can have an opinion anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's anyways, the Meverse post has a kid saying, "I wish squids were real," and that's what that's reminding me of. That I wish squids were real, and then somebody below him comments, "Boy, do I have good news for you."
Nice. That's a good one. That's a good one. That guy is based as hell for that.
Yeah. I got good news for you, buddy. Squids are real. They're real.
That kid's gonna be so psyched though when he finds
Yeah.
out. He's gonna be like, "Hell yeah, I love
Are
squids."
real. Yeah. He
Yeah.
probably meant, like the cutesy little Splatoon squids. But, I mean it.
Yeah. Okay, so I was listening to a podcast. This is another non sequitur. You're gonna have to just deal with it.
Let's go for
it. I was listening to how hockey teams got their names. Whatever. It's not really important. It doesn't matter. There's some fun stories in there. But there was like a tradition one of these teams had. I can't remember for the life of me what the name of the team was. But they have a tradition that started forever ago where they throw octopi on the ice rink.
What?
Like dead octopuses. Yes. I'm not joking. Apparently they did that after one guy did it, and then they won the Stanley Cup after that or something. So it's become a tradition where the NHL has tried to ban it, and they're like, You can't do that. That's our tradition.
That's
So
our tradition.
once there was 36 octopi thrown on the rink at once, with one octopus weighing up to 40 pounds. This is not I'm not making this up. It's insane behavior.
Did they call
But
that a
it's tradition.
squid game?
Well, I didn't want to octopusy foot around it, you know.
Oh man.
Anyway,
that's a
that
good
has
James
nothing to
Bond
do with
movie,
anything.
actually. Goldfinger. It's with Octopussy. That's a good one.
I think Pussy Galore is the most desperate.
Oh,
name
Pussy
of
Galore.
any
That's the one.
person
Yeah,
ever.
Pussy Galore is from Goldfinger. Octopussy's in a different.
That
one.
is that is an insane name for a woman.
That's
what
her
are
name.
you doing, Fleming?
That's what her parents named her.
No, they didn't. A guy in the 40s did. Ian Fleming did this. It's his fault.
He thought it'd be a good idea. I don't know. You should ask him.
Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore is.
Wait, isn't he dead?
insanity.
Pretty sure Ian Fleming's
Oh,
dead, isn't he?
he's very dead.
Yeah.
He's the most dead.
Yeah, he's the most dead. He came back to life and then he died again. That's how dead he is.
Oh yeah. I died, but then I got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Knuckles. Yeah. It.
Old Knuckles, yep.
Sonic shorts, man. Those were the days of Sonic shorts. Those were-
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sonic shorts were good.
Okay. Where were we even at in the conversation? We've derailed so much.
We have strayed so far from God's light. We were talking about French people.
Yeah,
Trump,
well,
octopods.
that's where we really started straying. Was talking about French people. But...
Oh yes, yes. Well, mon ami, let's get back to the video game, shall we? Yes. So you beat a video game. You beat
I did.
Armored Core since the
Yes.
last time we recorded.
Big Robert game.
I played a little bit of
Yes.
Armored Core.
What'd you think of the rabbits?
That's a video game.
It's a
The
video
robots are. You can put them together. You know.
Yep.
You can.
You can put them together, and they feel like robots. You feel like you're a big clunky robot.
Mm-hmm. Clunky is right. That's a PlayStation 1 game, bro. That's a PlayStation 1 game. I don't know if I'll
that's
play that
how
game.
they all control throughout the entire series until Armored Core 4. And up until that point, they're all gonna control about the same as that one, right there. Even the same control scheme. Like that's how all of the ones throughout the PlayStation 1 and 2 play.
Yeah. Well, like that's good for you though. That's like a buffet. You're like,
Yeah,
sign me up.
all I can eat. Yep, I love them
Yeah.
clunky robot controls. I like it. I like my robot to feel like a robot.
Excuse me, honey. I'm going up for another plate of Armored Core. Do you want any more? Like that's you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
for
I was
dessert,
feeling
I'll
with,
have a little. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing Doll's Nest. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. This is clunky, but not like clunky like old like Armored Core clunky like I feel like I'm controlling a robot, but it feels modern to where like the controls are like actually like, you know, doing the control-y thing, and I'm just like in control of my machine and not at like Jesus take the wheel. Let's, you know, get some guys, you know, shot up with the laser guns, you know.
I'm sorry, I'm having a moment. He keeps calling it robots because I put it in the document for a joke, and he's telling the joke. He said robot like 5 times. I'm like, is there like a leak? Is there a gas leak in my house? Oh my god.
But they are not robots, in fact. They are indeed mechs. And people
They are
will
mechs.
be upset if you don't say the right things sometimes. So
Mexicans. They can turn into robots. Yes.
No.
No, what? What are you talking? I said Mex. I said.
No, that one didn't work. Try again.
Okay. I'm Hispanic. I can't do that. I can only do it if it's good. Okay. I
Yeah, you
understand.
can only do
I
it if it's
understand.
good. That's right. That's right.
I know that joke was on the border.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're canceling this episode. This episode.
No, stop. Okay, all right. We're going to center ourselves a little bit. Tell me about the robots. Tell me about the robots. Any more you want to talk about the robots?
Yes. They are fun to build and to tune, and the gameplay of it has a very nice loop of you take a look at your mission, figure out like, what the heck am I doing here? Oh, okay, I'm doing some close quarters. I should probably build my robot to do that. And so you go into your garage and you see what parts you have. If you don't have the parts you need, you go to the shop. Maybe you sell some parts that you're not using for this mission, because you can sell parts for the same price that you buy them. So you never go down in currency unless if you absolutely screw up a mission and didn't save beforehand. Otherwise, you will not go down in currency, because anything that you buy or anything you pick up in a mission, you can just sell back to the shop and they'll have it there for you when you want it again. So it's a really nice system for basically encouraging customization. These games are all about encouraging customization. They're kind of almost the polar opposite of like a Dark Souls, for instance, because the Dark Souls, like, they expect you to find a weapon you like pretty early on and then build that weapon up as like your main weapon, and you only get so many upgrade items to fully upgrade weapons, and they're pretty hard to come by. Whereas with this, you have a pool of currency and you just buy parts that you need, and then you customize per mission. So it's a nice little feedback loop that I think, honestly, the game's designed to where I think anyone can really complete Armored Core 1 with enough time and effort. Like, I think as long as you're, doing the bare minimum to save your game before each mission and retry missions, when you're getting stuck. And even then, the game's got your back, because the game will game over if you get like below, I think it's like 5,000 credits. If you go in the negative like 5,000 credits or so, or maybe that's like 50,000 credits, I don't remember, but I didn't experience this in my latest playthrough of it, but the game will say, okay, we're putting you in the Human Plus program, and so that will give you permanent buffs to your character, and then you will start the game over with those permanent buffs. So anytime that you completely run out of funds by, doing too many missions and failing too many missions and having too many costs for your ammunition and for your Armored Core repair, then they kick you to a game over screen and they pump you full of basically augments, and they're like insane augments, like to the point where there is a difference between the types of machines you can put together for no human plus and max human plus, because of the weight restrictions are lifted at a certain human plus like level. So so that's basically like the game saying, yeah, we want to alleviate some of the difficulty of this game if this game is truly, challenging someone. So like they have things like upgrading your melee, or giving you a permanent radar without having to have a radar piece built into your Armored Core, or as I said, alleviating some of those weight restrictions. So it's definitely a game that is difficult to control. It's supposed to be. You're a big giant robot mech. Like that's what you are. You're piloting this big robot. Of course it's going to be big and clunky. But if you can get past that, and you can get yourself playing at the pace of the game, then I truly do think that this game wants everyone to succeed and to get through its content and to enjoy its gameplay loop. And that's why they put these systems in. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any reason to have like a system that actively rewards you for failing over and over again, right? It's basically the opposite of like a Demon Souls or a Dark Souls 2, where they take away your max life total for failure. This game is saying, no, we're going to make you stronger for failing over and over again. So, that to me marks the sign of a game that wants you to push forward and engage with it.
Okay. Awesome. That's Armored Core. Are you going to do a formal review of that, like a backlog thing, or is that kind of it for you?
Yeah, I'd like to review the original at some point. I'm not sure what all I can say that's not already been said about it, but I mean, I do definitely want to talk about some of its systems and how those systems relate to its world building and its sort of the story that there is in it. It's a very FromSoft story in terms of like it's more of in the menus than actually in the gameplay. You know, the gameplay is the gameplay, and then the story is kind of happening in the background most of the time. But it's an interesting game for sure, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Didn't have too much trouble with the final mission though. Most people say that thing's like supposed to be impossible or close to impossible. Maybe I had a good time, like a lucky run of it, but I mean, I just kind of took it slow and steady, and made sure that I was alert during that mission, and the platforming was definitely not great. That game does not work very well as a platformer. There's a large platforming section that I kept falling and falling and falling. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see why people don't like this section. But as for like the difficulty of that mission, I think that pretty much anyone can get it within a few tries or so. Just keeping having the right loadout for that sort of mission. So
gotcha. Yeah, that's Armored Core.
Yep.
If you don't mind, before we hear about the thing you've been playing most is Final Fantasy VI, let's take a quick break real quick, get some refreshments and stuff like that. I need to kind of walk around for a second.
Sure.
I'm getting a little stiff, but yeah, we'll be back in just a second, and we'll hear more about what you've been playing. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. We're back. Super Mario Sunshine is shit. Noah almost choked someone out over it.
I did.
What's going on?
I did. So this was, when I was like a kid, real kid, like probably I was maybe 10 years old. That sounds about right. 10 or maybe 11, probably closer to 10. And there was like some sort of neighborhood get together or whatever, and like all the neighborhood kids were over at my house, and like all their parents were upstairs and all the kids were downstairs, and they were all hanging out. And somehow my copy of Super Mario Sunshine got removed from my GameCube. It got put on top of my like TV, I think, and then it got knocked down from the TV and got smashed into pieces on the ground. And so I just got red with fury and just started choking out like the first person who I saw. Like, I don't even think it was the person who did it, but I just started choking him out, and then everyone had to like forcibly like pull me back because I was just in absolute like rage mode, like monkey mad rage, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever quite had a fit of rage like that before.
That's
and
insane.
since,
That's like on site. It doesn't matter. Nearest person, you're gonna die.
yes, it was just the nearest person. I don't know, something in me snapped, and I just went absolutely feral and started choking someone out.
That's really good. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out who
Mars
it was?
No, it doesn't really matter. I bought another copy of it years later, and that's fine.
That is so fun. I had no idea about that. That is insane.
I don't have the original like box for it though. I think I just didn't want to see the game while like I was in mourning, and so I probably just threw the box out with the game disc, and so I still don't own like the original box for it. I had one of those GameStop sort of boxes. I bought it years later at a GameStop, and
yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Like all the guys hanging out on the couch. Like,
yeah. And so yeah, I love those boxes actually, but
they're so dumb. I love them.
Yeah. I ended up like just printing out on just normal paper like a cover for it, and I like that's good enough for me. I mean, so I've got like a box for it, but it is what it is. I don't really collect GameCube anyways. That's way too pricey of a hobby. But
yeah,
GameCube's kind of nuts. What I've got from my childhood is like good enough. I picked up a few things before like GameCube started getting real up there. Back during the like X360 era, I picked up a few GameCube things here and there, and I'm pretty sure like after that X360 era, like it released just once we got past into the full HD age, like those GameCube prices just started shooting up because people started like wanting them, and they started realizing like, hey, these are never getting made again, so these are like collector items because there wasn't a whole lot of them sold to begin with. So
right. Well, I got news for you that the GameCube games are going to depreciate in value given the NSO stuff coming.
Not
it
really.
Will. No, it will. I think it will. I really do. It's just
Earthbound is still like
$400
and something, and that game's been on
all
all kinds of.
Is it like new in box though? Because that would make sense.
No, just the cartridge.
What, really?
Just that SNES cartridge, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
It doesn't always happen.
If
it's something like people are like passionate about, they'll collect it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's this guy on YouTube. His name is Happy Console Gamer. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Yeah, he's a good follow. He's a Canadian YouTuber. Really, really interesting guy. He loves JRPGs specifically. Loves Atlas games. I go to him for a lot of my Atlas stuff. Just like what does he think about it? Cool. He every time like he's like an old school gamer too. So like he bought everything physical. He has like a bunch of cool stuff he got from Japan. Like every time he has an old video game that he talks about, he's like got it. Like there's like a Mother 3 Game Boy card he had, and like Earthbound card, and like a limited edition stuff from Japan from Nintendo for like Mario Sunshine, like crazy stuff like that. I'm like, man, how do you? The only way to get this is just to buy it when it came out and then just have it, you know?
Yeah. And
he just has this treasure trove of insane stuff. Yeah, it's so different from nowadays. Like everything is becoming more digital and not like physical is not priority anymore, you know? So yeah. Getting back into it, in the odds and ends block, which is basically your block. I have almost nothing odds and ends in here. You've been playing a ton more Final Fantasy VI, is that correct?
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh yeah. Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, since the last pod, I think I've pretty much done almost all of the gotten to the World of Ruin, and then done like almost all of the things to do in World of Ruin on that original, SNES game. I'm not playing the like GBA sort of remaster, I guess, sort of.
Honestly,
they add
the audio
content
is a
in
downgrade.
that. The audio is a downgrade, but they add content in that game. They do add content, and they fix
they?
bugs. Yes, yeah.
Oh.
I've discovered that because the guide I was following through that is like, oh yeah, you can do this. I'm like, oh great, I'll go ahead and do this. And then I was like, why is this not happening? And then I look online, and they're like, oh yeah, that was introduced in the Game Boy Advance remake and was just ported forward to like those pixel remasters. I'm like, oh okay, well.
Gotcha.
That's fine. Like I'm good. I didn't need it anyways. It was just like more espers. I'm like, I got enough of those guys. I got pretty much all of those guys. There's like one or two that I'm missing, I think. I don't know, but
yeah,
I got enough of them. I can cast Ultima with all my guys, and that's all you really need to beat the game. I think you just spam Ultima, right? So.
Oh yeah, when you fight spoilers, Kefka. Yeah. For sure.
Spoilers. Yeah, Kefka's in the game, guys.
I know. So you're loving this game, right? You're deep in it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah.
I don't think I haven't really engaged with the 16-bit era enough. I feel like, and this has been like a good way to get into that era. I need to engage more with this era because I kind of like to stay in like the 32-bit sort of era with like PlayStation and 64 stuff, and then I kind of go back and I'm like go to play like 8-bit stuff. I've played a lot of 8-bit games. Like I've played a ton of the NES library and a ton of the
me too.
I've played a ton of like the Master System library, but I haven't played a lot with like the Genesis library either. Like I've played more Genesis than SNES for sure, but
really interesting. Yeah. What do you know about Rygar, dude? Freaking Rygar for the NES. Great game. Rygar's awesome.
I haven't checked that one out actually, but
you haven't? Oh, Rygar's great, dude. Please play Rygar. That's an awesome game. You have a shield. Use a little shield.
I prefer Rise Star for the Genesis.
Very good. You get a hand clap for that.
Rise Star was
for you.
That was a great game. I mean, no, it wasn't.
It's no Starfy. I'll put it that way. No.
Starfy's way better than Rise Star. I can promise you. Rise Star kind of sucks. Actually, don't play Rise Star.
Yeah. But he's got fun gloves and cool feet. That's Rise Star.
But he does like the same thing as Sonic. He like runs around saving flickies, right? Isn't that what Rise Star does?
Are those what they're called in Sonic games? Flickies?
Yeah, the little birds. They're called flickies. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They made a whole game about it called Flicky. You never played Flicky?
I never even heard. Are you pulling my leg?
No, I'm not pulling your leg. Flicky is a real video game made by real people. I promise you.
Is it like the Disgaea offshoots about the penguins or whatever? Is it like that sort of scale of game?
Kind of. I guess you could call it that.
The Prinny series or whatever. I want to be a hero, dude.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
But
those guys are cool. I like the Prinnies actually, but I'm a pretty big fan.
Yeah, they're like stitched up weird robot things. They're kind of cool.
Yeah, like penguin corpses or something. I don't know. I don't really get it.
Yeah, something like that. I played a little bit of Disgaea 1 and I was like, man, Laharl seems like he sucks. I'm not gonna play more of this.
Really? I thought he was a cool protag.
I think his voice just drives me crazy. Maybe that's what it is. I'm Laharl.
Yeah, he does kind of talk like that.
Anyway, whatever. I have Disgaea 1 complete. I want to play one day. So
yeah, those Disgaea games are interesting. I don't know if they're quite my cup of tea because there's a lot of grinding in those games, from what I hear. Like, to beat the story for that game, you have to do a lot of grinding.
You gotta stack dudes on dudes and get them numbers up, dog. Yeah, that's what Disgaea is.
I like my character like RPGs, and Disgaea is like almost exactly the opposite. You build your own characters and build your own party. Like you have your like dorks like Laharl and like the Prinnies and stuff like that, and like sure those are fine, but they don't really do anything. You really have to play around with like the build your own character systems to actually like progress in that game. And I wasn't getting it. my brain was just head empty, no thoughts. When I was playing that game back in the
Lights
day.
were on, but nobody was home.
Yeah, it was a long time ago that I was trying to play that game. I was still like a dumb like teenager, and I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna name my knight number 1, and he's gonna have a cool sword, and he's gonna be this color. That's your party. That's how that game goes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I mean,
do
you have like
I wasn't there.
You have the hero characters like Laharl or whatever, but like, come on,
they don't do anything. The hero characters don't do anything.
Play Final Fantasy. Like, what are you doing? Just play like a real one.
Just Final Fantasy Tactics, though, they do that same thing, right? To where you make just random dudes, and see, I'm not about that life. I like my Fire Emblem where this is John. You love John. If anything happens to John, I'm killing everyone here and then myself. You know. That's how Fire Emblem works, you know. Like,
this is John Fire Emblem, and I would die for him.
Yeah. So
I like. I mean, there's just something so disposable about those types of systems in RPGs because like you, I am not a fan of the blank slate. Here's a freaking job system guy. Like, this is not interesting at all, you know. So. I agree with you there. Like, I really prefer having the bespoke characters with interesting stories.
But you're a fan of that Final Fantasy Tactics series, though, right?
Oh yeah. Tactics Advance, one of the best.
But
games
they do that same thing though as Disgaea, right? That's what we were just discussing.
They
so
do.
yeah.
Well, there's like a couple. Well, kind of. There are a couple job companions you can get. But like, there's a couple set characters that you are required to play as like the main character. Okay. But yeah, I like Tactics Advance more than the original PS1. Like, that game's good, but it's no Tactics Advance. I love Tactics Advance.
I think
apparently that's supposed to be remade too, so that they're coming out with that at some point.
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing for me is that I don't like the art style of like Vagrant Story and like.
Enough of this.
Hang on. You're not letting me finish. I don't like the art style of that, and I don't like the art style of like the Iblis like.
I know this is what I know what you're saying. This is blasphemy.
But my favorite like Square Enix stuff is like Bravely Default and Octopath, and those are like basically the same art style.
Then what's the problem?
I don't know why I don't like them. That's what I'm trying to say. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm like, wait a second. These are the same thing. These are the same picture. Why don't I like this, I like this?
They are.
I know. I don't know why.
Look at that. Just look at the games and go like, I do like this actually.
No, I can't do that. I think it has to do with like the gameplay of it. I like my character games, and that's not a character game. So in my brain, I'm like, I don't like this because it's not a character game.
I think
I'd probably like 12 though. I think I would like 12 because
I think this episode has really convinced me that we both need lobotomies.
Yeah, just a little bit out of that frontal lobe, you know. You don't need that part.
I don't know, just jam some chopsticks in there. It'll be all right. Yeah. He's not yelling no more.
Get an ice pick, just, you know.
I just think we need a clean slate, man. Like, we need to get all these dark thoughts out of our heads.
But all that to say, I'm at least willing to give the World of Iblis a try and give, like, 12 a try at some point, but...
How big of you? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
One of the greatest games in the franchise.
No, nobody's saying that about 12. Okay, let's get one thing straight.
12's
no,
good game.
Nobody's saying that. The stupid like MMORPG like menuing system where you like you queue up command. It's like auto chess. It's like freaking Final Fantasy auto chess. Who's out here playing auto chess besides like the League of Legends, you know, that love to, you know, moderate Discord servers, you know?
It's like, I don't know, it's like Xenoblade, but a little slower. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to figure that system out. Have you played this game?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I played this on PS2. I played through about half of it with a buddy.
Yeah.
We like had a huge sleepover and we played that exclusively, and it was great. We both took turns playing it. I really like that game. I have the Zodiac. Was it the Zodiac Age or whatever it is? The re-release on console. I've yet to play that. I want to get back to that at some point, but that game's good. I don't know. The Evil East stuff is awesome. Like, you're just a hater. That's what I think.
No, I'm not a hater.
It makes no sense.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not a hater. I'm trying to not hate. I'm trying to understand why I don't like these things.
You're like, why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to hate. I'm trying to do the opposite of that. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me. But, what were we talking about?
Lobotomies for everybody.
6? Yeah, 6. Great game. Love the characters.
Yes.
Love the story. Love, like, the character stories in that game. Like, I feel like pretty much every member of the cast gets, like, a nice, like, deep character story. Cyan is, like, prepare to cry. Oh my gosh, nobody suffered as much as Cyan. Like, holy crap.
Cyan's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you like was it Go-Go? Gogo's in that, right?
Sure
Go-Go's in that.
Go-Go's like are you talking about the Go-Go the mime, or are you talking about Gao the like the little child?
Go-Go. I like Go-Go. Go-Go's cool.
Yeah, Go-Go like they just kind of like show up in a cave and you're like, "Oh, hey, you want to join us?"
It's a cool design though. I love
it. It is a
cool
design. I don't know how that character works. I've never tried using them. Cuz I noticed they can't like I can't equip espers to them, so I'm like, why would I even bother with this character? Unless if they have like something that they do that's better than Ultima. I only want my characters casting Ultima, so
yeah, the artwork for Go-Go is an all-timer when it comes to the concept.
I just don't know how the character works, so. But I have the character. I have them, and I have the big Yeti man, Umaro, so he's cool.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI has just like a million, and not NPCs, sorry, companions.
Yeah, there's 14 characters. I think is that high for a Final Fantasy game? I haven't.
Oh, it's extremely high.
Okay.
I don't think there's a bigger. Is there a bigger cast? Maybe 4 has a slightly has a cast that's close.
4 has a class.
7.
I was thinking about playing that one next. But
got a big party as well, but it's like okay. 7's got Sid, Vincent, Cloud, Tifa, Yuffie.
Oh, they actually let you use Sid in 7. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You play a lot of Sid. Aerith, Barrett. I think there's 7 or 8 party members in 7. I'm pretty sure. It's a pretty. Yeah. It's pretty. Oh yeah. Red 13. So it's like yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of party members in that.
Red 13's a
nothing like that.
It's a weird design.
No, he's cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about prepare to cry? Red 13.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's so cool. His whole backstory is heartbreaking.
No, he's cool.
That's another gripe I have with Rebirth is they do some weird stuff with Red 13 with like his voice.
Really it makes sense though, because he is like a young little pup. Is he a pup?
I know, but
is he a dog or is he a lion? I never figured that out. Dog lion person.
He's
dog lion person.
He's like he's like a anthropomorphic tiger cat thing. He can speak full sentences. Right. He's like a dude. Like he's so like a dude. Like in Rebirth, for all the additional stuff, like on this boat as you're crossing the sea, you can like play Queen's Blood with him, and he's like in a guard outfit, like standing on his hind legs.
They do that like in the in the original when you're like going across the. Because I remember that scene in the original, and that was still on disc 1, by the way. Still on disc 1, and you're going across the sea, and you're disguised as guards, and he's just like standing up as a dude, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a dude. I'm a guard. Look at me."
Yeah. They do that. They do that again, and it's really good.
Yeah.
But you beat him at Queen's Blood.
So how do the guards not like catch on? Because like he's not a dude, by the way.
Because they're idiots. They're idiots, and they kind of don't know what's going on at any given time.
Yeah.
It's very funny. He's a good character. Yeah, I like him. But yeah, anyway, Final Fantasy VI is cast is expansive, very
Yeah,
expansive. So,
yeah.
definitely
yeah.
the biggest party, I think, of any of the games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the core cast is like Go has a cool design, sure, but I think that like the core cast is like really what like they want you experiencing with that game, and so I've just been using them as much as possible and trying to experience all of their stories, and it's been really neat. I think that like between like Cyan's nightmare and like the nightmares that Shadow has periodically that like reveal some of his backstory. Like, holy crap, do they have some deep freaking characters for a freaking SNES game? You know, it's incredible just how deep these characters are,
Yeah.
and then the stuff with like Locke and the stuff with Edgar and Sabin. You know, the brothers are just so cool.
Edgar's really cool. I like Edgar a lot.
Yeah.
I
think
where
you'd
I'm
be
at
more
for
of a
my
Sabin
replay,
fan, to be honest.
like I said, I played this on GBA years ago. I can't remember where I stand with anybody really. But the last from my replay, I talked to Shadow at the bar and he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was at. So when I get back to it after Doom, I'll hopefully beat it in some time so we can actually talk about it and have a in-depth discussion, because there's a lot. That game is very dense. There's a lot to talk about in that game.
There's a lot, and I still really enjoy that. They were like, yeah, fighting games are popular. Let's just have this guy Sabin and have him you make him do the fighting game inputs. You know, we'll make you do the inputs so you can suplex the train.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. You see that DNA kind of move forward with like the Xenogears Xeno series, and you see that in the Tales series as well, where it's directional inputs and stuff. You know, seeing that sort of thing, and those teams kind of get this inspiration from like early games like that. Really cool.
And don't get me wrong, it's a real clunky implementation. Like if you were like,
it is
any like imprecise on your input, the game will be like, "Yep, nope, you didn't. I didn't see anything. I didn't see you do a Raging Phoenix. Like I didn't. It didn't
really
happen.
do that?
Did you really do that? I didn't see it.
I don't think you did. Yeah.
And so it's
check
lenient.
the tape. Check the tape.
Yeah, exactly. It's lenient enough, you know, to where like I can go like up, right, down, left, and do like the big wind cutter attack instead of like having to actually do the diagonals on my little D-pad on my classic controllers. That's a saving grace that I don't have to be precise on that D-pad, because it's a fine D-pad, but it's definitely not like the greatest D-pad ever created. So doing like precise inputs on that, like fighting game inputs, that doesn't sound like a good time to me. But so yeah, you know, it's like you're talking about like marrying action with like the the gameplay. That game does it with, if you choose to do those blitz attacks with Sabin, which you very well should be, because most of the time those are like vastly more powerful than the majority of the moves available to you for the majority of the game, and they don't use up any resources whatsoever, so you can just keep doing them. So
yeah I will be I'll be this will be my next game after Doom. Like I will be playing this pretty straight through. Like I'm just gonna finish it so we can talk about it. I'm really excited to replay this thing.
Yeah,
because I feel like I probably missed some details when I was younger. You know. I played this like.
It's a very dense game. You've got to interact with like the game and the game's world, and think about like the characters and what they would want to do, and take those characters to like go do the things they would want to do, because otherwise you just miss very key pieces of this game that are like getting like to see like the internal struggles of Cyan during like the latter half of the game, or like getting to see like the Shadow struggling with his past, or the relationship between Edgar and Sabin. It's just some really incredible storytelling in this game.
Yeah, that game is the it's kind of the white whale for Square Enix as a company to remake. Like they have said publicly. Well, they've said publicly like if we were going to do anything that like we wanted to do right, it would be remaking 6.
So you think that they maybe care about that game even more so than 7?
Well, no, I don't.
No.
But I think they do care about 6 a great deal. They just know that it'd be a lot of work involved. And I think they'd probably do the HD 2D remake thing. I think they would because it fits with that format. They wouldn't Final Fantasy 7 remake it up.
Okay.
I mean, none of their games will ever get that again. Like, that's just the truth.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like I that's what I thought that those pixel remasters were gonna be, was like that HD 2D, and then when like I bought those and booted them up, I'm like, this is not quite what I expected, and I ended up just going back to like the SNES version. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to play for now until they do like some sort of like HD 2D art style, because I do love me some HD 2D like that.
Yeah,
Octopath got me hooked on that, so I'm looking forward to playing those Dragon Quest games at some point in HD 2D.
I think I'm gonna wait on playing 3 until those come out so I can just play them all in succession.
Yeah.
They're all together. It'd be like 50 to 70 hours to do all 3 of them. Like,
gotcha.
I might just do that. Just do the whole story at once.
Yeah, those monster designs are so cool. I've always liked those Dragon Quest monster designs. I think they might even be better than like some of the Final Fantasy monster designs. Like, there's some iconic ones in Final Fantasy, but like pretty much every monster in Dragon Quest is like an iconic design. So
yeah, you would like Dragon Ball. I'll tell you that.
Probably.
Akira Toriyama had his hand in Dragon Quest.
I know.
So.
He made those little slime guys. I know what he's about. I know he likes them little slime guys. Who
doesn't? Slime guys are all right. The Rocket Slime on GBA is great, by the way.
The what?
It's a great GBA game. Rocket Slime on or is it, that might have been a DS game actually. Anyway, it's a handheld game for sure called Rocket Slime. Really good game. Yeah,
is it like a Dragon Quest like spin-off thing?
It's a Dragon Quest spin-off. It's a platformer with a slime. Yeah.
That's their Prinny.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Everyone's got to have a Prinny.
Yeah. Oops, all Prinnies. Yeah. Let me look at this.
It's like Sonic with the flicky game.
Yeah. It was a DS game. It was just called it's called Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime. And you take a look at this thing. It look like the pixel art is just really nice. I love it. The DS specifically had really good pixel art, and on top of that it's Toriyama art, so it's going to be really crisp.
Yeah, the DS was just situated perfectly to where it was like the last bastion of real pixel art, because it had the like I should say like real commercial, like big budget pixel art, because that was like the system could handle 3D, but it was a lot more suited for pixel art, and so a lot of big companies poured their hearts and souls into the pixel art of that thing, and it just everything that was like pixel art on that DS just aged incredibly. Like the 3D stuff, is not aged nearly as well as like your Pokemon DS sprites, right? Like those are the sprites that everyone's like, man, Game Freak really, really mastered pixel art. And then they put out the 3DS games. They're like, bleh.
Yeah.
Here's your Charmander.
It's like the same thing. I think of like when I think of Disney films. They got away from 2D filmmaking, where they don't do like their last movie was The Princess and the Frog. They don't do that anymore. They moved straight to 3D, filmmaking, which they dabbled in a little bit before Princess with the Frog, with like The Wild or whatever, like weird movies. Dinosaur they did, but like 2D movies weren't making money. Like Princess and the Frog was like a huge failure for them. They're just like, we're gonna pivot full time to 3D, and now I think it's a great movie, but like all their efforts are just funneled into this one discipline now, and that's kind of how it feels for a lot of games. Like they lost that 2D look and feel. Yeah, like the DS library is filled with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like you talk about the 3DS library being great, which it is. The GBA library being also awesome, but the DS library might be one of the best like ever. It's such an expansive list.
And it was towards like the end of the DS era that like all these like there was this weird push to get away from pixel artwork that was like that's too that needs to go the way of the dinosaur. Everything has to be 3D now. You're not with the times in modern if you're not 3D. And so I feel like that kind of like forced Game Freak's hand. Like honestly, I think Pokemon would be so much better if they never abandoned 2D. I think we would have incredible 2D pixel art on modern, consoles from Game Freak, and we wouldn't have nearly as many, hiccups and issues with these games, and they would still be able to have like the deep mechanical depth of the battle system that they've always had throughout the series.
You know what my ideal Pokemon game would be is a multiplayer open world game like we talked about, but in a 2D style with the Legends capture mechanic. Like if they got all that, it would be like
crazy.
It'd be so good. Like they could do it, they just don't want to. Like they really
maybe
could.
do like an HD 2D art style and like have people just like running around like with those HD 2D Pokemon sprites. Like maybe you have one like that's able to like follow you, and oh man, I'm just really picturing this in my head, and I'm like, man, like get those guys that did the sprite work for Pokemon Black and White and Black 2 and White 2, right? Call them back, be like, hey, we need you guys. We're going back to making good games, so just come
Nintendo,
over here.
hire this man.
Hire this guy. You have like the hyper realistic like Unreal Engine Mario. I love those. My gosh, you can like see like his individual nose hairs. Like that's what we want. Hire
Look at
this
the pores
man.
in Mario's cheekbones.
That's right. That's what we want. That's all we ever wanted. Nintendo. Hire this man.
I want biblically accurate Mario now.
That's right.
We got that. We got that. It was it was Bob Hoskins in the Mario movie. It was just that was a real life one.
That's right.
Have you seen that movie, by the way?
I have never watched that movie. No, it's. Oh no!
We're adding it.
Oh no, we're not. Yeah. No.
Yes, we are.
Those Goombas scare me. I don't know if I
will
can
say
handle
so.
them.
I watched this movie in the last couple years because I watched it here in this house, and man, that movie is a fever dream.
Oh no!
It is so weird. Like you're not. I don't think you're quite prepared for how freaking weird that movie is. Like it is. Pretty shocking what they do with a lot of things.
Don't think I am. I don't think I ever will be.
Well, we might watch it. That might be a voted by one day. We'll see.
Oh my god.
To be continued. To be continued. I'm adding that to our tapes list. Is it called just Super Mario Brothers the movie, or is it the Super Mario Brothers? I don't even know what it's called. Super Mario Brothers movie. That's what we're gonna call it. But yeah. We're gonna do this one day. So that's a lot of Final Fantasy VI. Good deal. That's exciting. I saw you've been
journey, so.
Yeah, it's a good game. You've been playing Rabbit and Steel. Is that what I've seen?
Yeah.
Rabbit and Steel. What is Rabbit and Steel?
Yeah. So it's a the way they like sell it, I guess, is it's supposed to be like MMORPG sort of combat, to where you and your friends each have like different roles, and you're trying to learn the boss patterns and sort of account for each other's positioning and
Okay.
try not to essentially get in each other's way or kill each other during different boss patterns. Like there'll be attacks like spread out, so you have to all be like separate from each other, and then there's attacks like get in the circle, and like a circle will appear on one character, and you all have to like huddle into like one character. And the way I think of it is kind of like a multiplayer, very roguelite, Toho sort of bullet hell is what I kind of see it as. There's a lot going on the screen, and it's MMO like in terms of like the patterns, but it's bullet hell in terms of like you're still like having to like dodge a lot of things on the screen, and you're still like in like a sort of a 2D flat space, and there's like attacks coming at you from like all sides and things like that, and you're trying to dodge them with your little character while dealing damage to the enemy using all of your like MMO sort of cooldowns. You have like 4 different like attacks, and they all have like a global cooldown like an MMO. So yeah, it's fun. I've played it before, but I've started getting back into it with some friends. So they've got a DLC coming out fairly soon for it, so we're trying to get through the base game, so we're ready for that. So
Okay, cool. Is it a furry game? No?
Not
Yes, no.
really. No, I wouldn't consider it that.
Gotcha.
It's.
That's why I put a question mark. I was furries? Question mark?
I'm not sure. I'm not really in touch with that community, so I wouldn't know if it's like, if it's something they like or not, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue either. Yeah, Rabbit and Steel. That's cool. So it's a multiplayer focused game. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. Cool. And you had it on the TV back there, and what I can see now is you have Majora's Mask, which is cool.
Yep.
If only that were Ocarina of Time, it'd be better.
This is the better game, so.
I'm holding my tongue. I saw East 1 initially on there.
Yeah.
That's it looks really good on that manga, I will say.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It's,
how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled with it before I actually got this new TV, but I dabbled with it, and one of the problems I was having with it was that the like corners of the UI were getting cut off, so I actually didn't know like how much gold and XP that I had. And so now that I've got like the sort of flat screen CRT, that I'm not having like the issues with like the sort of bend that my older style CRT has, and so I'm able to like see all my whole full UI, and so that'll probably make going back to that game a bit easier. But I got past the first boss, and I was able to beat him first try, so I was pretty happy about that. And then then I just I think I might have died like one time like after him, but I like saved after him, so like I didn't really lose any progress. But I was just like, I'm done like with this game for now. So I'll probably end up picking the game back up eventually, now that I can actually see my UI. So I was actually using that when I was adjusting the TV, funnily enough, because when I got the TV installed, I realized it had like some tilt to it, and so I immediately noticed when I was checking East, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see East, but East is also sideways now. It's like kind of going at a diagonal. So I'm like looking at it like with my head tilted, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can do this. But so I was just messing around with the TV settings one day, and I was scrolling through the settings, and like in the very, very back of the settings, like where I would not expect it, where I'd expect like the factory reset, because that's what I was looking for. I was wanting to see if there was like a factory reset setting. Couldn't find that, but I found a video tilt adjustment setting. I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I need right now. My whole thing's tilted. So I adjusted that. I was actually using that game, East 1, to adjust it, because the game is so pixel perfect that the frame of it, I just adjusted it till that frame was perfectly level, with my screen, and then I was like, yeah, okay, my tilt is adjusted. This is good. So that's the nice thing about those pixel games, that they work really well as as adjuster functions. I mean, I also have like the 240p test suite installed on my Wii as well, and so and that's just like a little program that is like a universally used sort of program for adjusting TV sets like this, to get like the colors right and all that sort of stuff.
Gotcha.
So I mess with that a bit as well. I've done that with like pretty much every CRT I've ever had. Ran that 240p test suite, and it's fun. You take your little color bars and you sort of play the game of all right, I'm gonna turn off the color. I'm gonna get all the shades right when it's black and white. Then I'm gonna turn back on the color, get the color adjusted to the right hues that I want. It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, calibrating TVs, man. I when we got this flat screen we have, I calibrated it for so long to try to get it right. Like my eyes were starting to like hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, I'll get like tunnel focus. Like I gotta have every single color correct. Yeah. Yep.
And it was it was genuinely affecting. I think I called out of work because I was just like, I can't. I get my depth perception's messed up. I have a headache. Like, it's no good. But
I remember.
Okay, that's cool.
I was kind of like
using
that.
Using it to test out your TV.
Yeah, you just reminded me. I was kind of like that after I had my my LASIK eye surgery. I remember like there was a couple times, like even like weeks after the surgery, where I just wake up. I'm like, oh, I can't very well see very well. I probably shouldn't go driving into work.
yeah.
And
it's I hear it's scary.
It's not that bad of a ordeal, to be honest. It's just like once in a while after like right after it was like, oh whoa, but now like I'm so glad I did it. So
oh no that's Noah's odds and ends. I had the full slate of new games. You had the full slate of old stuff, and that's how it shook out. That's how the cookie crumbled this podcast, which is cool. That's cool. Our topic this week, our little evergreen topic, birthday games. So we talked about at length that the Switch 2 coming out on my birthday, big time, big deal. For me at least, I'm taking off the day of work. I do that anyway for my birthday. Just because who wants to work on the birthday? I mean, if you have to, then great. But
honestly, doesn't.
I've done it a couple times. Yeah, I've done it a couple times, and I always feel bad. I'm like, I should be hanging out doing what I want. It's like the one.
I like it. I feel like at least when I was younger, I'd like do it, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm a big boy now. I'm working on my birthday, so I don't know. To me, teach their own. It's like for some it's like it's like the worst thing ever, but especially when I was like young and like wanted to like be independent, I was like, this is great, I'm working on my birthday, and then after this I'm gonna get home from work and relax. And oh man, those were the days. Those when work was so easy. Oh man, I miss being an intern.
when you just hung out with your friends or whatever, and you worked shorter shifts, and things were less complicated.
There was so much less complicated. Oh man, now I'm having super nostalgia for those days. Oh man.
You never know how good you have until
I know, and that whole like time I was working there, I was like, man, things are gonna be better when I'm not like working an internship. And now I'm just like, I want to go back to that internship so badly. I want to live in that time period. Oh
Yeah,
man.
like I'm doing the job now, and this blows. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm doing
Totally.
something completely different than what I went to college for, but that's neither here nor there. It's just the way the cookie crumbled.
That's definitely the case. But yeah, circling back to it a little bit, birthday games. Like, I'm thinking of like 2 or 3 instances of which you kind of got something for your birthday, and you associate a memory with that. Just 2 or 3 instances for each of us, and
Yep.
yeah, I guess. Do you have any in mind? I'll let you go first. Do you have?
Sure.
I was with you for a lot of birthdays, honestly. So I was there for a fair amount. Of them.
I'll give you. I'll let you be part of one of these as a treat.
Oh, goody.
I won't start
I'll
with
let
that
you be
one,
part
though.
of one of them.
I won't start with that one because I want to go for like chronologically, right? So that's just how my brain works. So you're gonna have to bear with me. So
yeah, no, fine. That's fine.
I'm going to start with my. This is really old. 5th birthday.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Reaching back in the old annals.
This is a huge one for me. This could be my favorite birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Exciting.
And so the whole I remember the entire day, like vividly. Like I don't remember hardly anything from when I was a kid, but this day in particular I remember extremely vividly for some crazy reason. And
it's like the day you became like self-aware. Or
yeah, it may be. I mean, and so like it was we got up, we traveled to a town that was like, a few hours out from our place, probably just like a couple hours. I'm not too sure about the distance or what the name of the town was, but we went to a dinosaur park. Now, when I was a little kid, dinosaurs were my thing. I didn't care about cars. I really still don't. I didn't, care about the stuff that like little boys, usually cared about, and liked and things like that. There was only one thing I cared about, and that was dinosaurs. That was the only like toys that I would care to play with. I'd care about, everything had to be dinosaurs. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about superheroes, nothing. I like Spider-Man, that's about it. So I liked, pretty much just Spider-Man and dinosaurs. So I was so yeah, they took me to this like dinosaur park, and I had like a bunch of like cool little like dinosaur doohickeys and things and like rides and things like that. And then after that, we went to go see Finding Nemo in theaters.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then after that, we got back to our hotel, and I got my birthday gift, which was a Game Boy Advance with with Spider-Man: Mysterio's Menace and Godzilla, the series, the Game Boy Color game, Godzilla the series. And those games are fantastic, by the way. Those great Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games, like Mysterio's Menace. That game is Activision's best. Like, oh my gosh, Activision never did it better than Mysterio's Menace. But Mysterio is still my favorite Spider-Man villain. But
yeah, I remember you keeping those cartridges under lock and key. Like even when we were young, you're like, you can borrow whatever you want, just not these. Like these are, I don't ever want to lose. I remember you were very adamant about that.
I know, but you know what really sucks is that I had a cousin that actually did end up stealing my copy of Mysterio's Menace.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But so I still don't have a.
Cagey.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of it still, sadly. But I gotta get around to getting one again at some point. But I have played through that game like recently. Like I found the ROM for it, not like on like a ROM site. It was in like one of those like 1,000 ROM sort of like packages. Like it's not even in like its own separate like download.
Yeah.
I had to like get like a whole package of them just to get like the one that I wanted. But That game is like slept on. It's a hidden gem, I'm telling you. That game's great.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I gotta check that thing out.
Yeah. And that Godzilla game's pretty good too. I mean, the Godzilla game's just like a side-scrolling, like, you play as like Godzilla, and you're just kind of like, there's like little guys coming at you, and you stomp on them and shoot your little fireball. It's not even like a fire breath. It's just like a little like fireball that you have to kind of aim.
Yeah.
You know, like his neck moves kind of weird, and so you have to like aim his neck up and down. You get like more moves as like the game progresses. Like each level, you get like a new move. So it's fun, but it's definitely a jank game. You know, he doesn't have like his full moveset that he does in like what's that PlayStation 2 game? Freaking like, it's not Destroy All. It is Destroy All Monsters. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up actually.
Yeah, that's my all-time favorite Godzilla game.
That's a great game. It's an awesome game.
I adore that game. One of the best like monster fighters. Period. But yeah, Dinosaur Kid. That. So yeah, Godzilla was like also like my big thing. Like as a kid, loved Godzilla. Still do love Godzilla. So. But yeah, that's. Sorry to go on and on about it, but it's a it's a big one for me, and that, like I said, I remember it extremely vividly. I remember, you know, all of the like, I remember the hotel, I remember the park, I remember the movie, I remember everything, like sitting in that theater. Yep. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this one I believe includes you, the one I have. I think you might have given me the gift. If you can remember what it was, I think you gave me a copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2.
That's right. Yep, I sure did. I
Yes.
sure as shine did. And I played it.
Yeah. And we played so much. Like
Yeah.
I think I had a sleepover or something.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
And
with
I had
all of our
I had
friends
you
and
you, the Flucuses over, a couple other
Yep.
people. And it was just, man, it was such a good time. Like
Yeah.
I think we had 4 controllers somehow for Battlefront, and it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. I remember you gave it to me, and I had wanted Battlefront 2 for a long time because I used to play it at one of my friend's house.
Yep.
And I had a PS2, but I only had Battlefront 1.
Yep.
And the copy I had played so much, it stopped working.
Yeah.
Like it just stopped. That PS2 copy of Battlefront 1 stopped working. I adored
I remember
that game so much.
I found it at Walmart too, of all places.
Did you really? Wow.
Yes, it was at Walmart, and it was like the last copy that they had, because they were like phasing out PS2 stuff at that time, and so you know it was just like the last copy that they had, and I got it for like maybe like $10 or something like that. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah.
That is crazy. I would have to have been like what, 12 or 13 maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I was not quite teenager.
Yeah.
I was old enough where we were always hanging out with each other. Yeah, that was a.
I remember.
That was something I will remember.
Specifically stayed up like all night playing the what's the spaceship battle like adventure mode. I can't remember that mode, but that mode was so involved that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so here for this. I love like flying the ships around, fighting, the other like enemy like mothership, and then like going inside and like fighting on the inside.
Yeah, so
the game was so fully featured.
Basically, it was like a board game.
Yeah,
like what you're talking.
That too.
About.
Yep. They had like a map system.
It was like it was like a galactic conquest or something like that, where you're basically taking over territory, doing ship battles for the most part, and just like doing this like strategic game like campaign.
Yeah.
And like so the difference between Battlefront 1 and 2 is 1 is more original trilogy based. It's more focused on that stuff because the prequels were still coming out when 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
It has some of the the same map shared from game to game.
Yep.
But I don't think you can play as a Jedi in the first one, and there's no ship combat in the first one. I think those are both in the second one. So Yeah, you. I remember. I think you played. I tried staying up as long as I could, but you're like, I'm gonna keep playing. And
Yeah.
we were in our basement. I remember
Yeah.
we had a huge basement that we grew up in, and yeah, it was just a bunch of kids just like passed out on all the couches and everything after.
And there's just me
running
just
around,
up, still
Yeah.
playing it like all night.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a
Yeah.
fun memory for me. That was a great house, by the way. The 4th Street house we used to stay in.
That was great.
So many memories.
No, I actually my PlayStation 2 that I just got. One of the games that came with it was Star Wars Battlefront 2, so I actually have that. Game.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's a great game. I think I prefer Battlefront 1 in some ways, but not like 2 is just 2 is a superior game.
Yeah, 2 is just that's like one of the greatest games of all time. Period. Like full stop.
Yeah.
Like, that game is.
Oh my god.
Infinitely replayable with friends. Like that's like our GoldenEye. Like you know, talk about like a good shooter.
That
is
honestly,
our GoldenEye. Yeah.
that's clutch. What you just
Yeah.
said. That is 100% our GoldenEye.
That was the GoldenEye of our generation. Like that's just full stop.
Oh,
Like
dude, totally. That and like Melee were like the games of our childhood.
Oh yeah.
And like we were talking about Lego Star Wars too. Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars as well. Yep. That was
Wii
huge.
Sports also. Like if you want to,
Yeah.
we could talk about like childhood games. Like those.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of them. You know.
Yeah.
I hear it in my head clear as day. Is whenever you capture command post, he goes, "We've captured a command post."
We've
I love
captured a command
Love it.
post. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always lamented whenever you were getting just completely waxed, and like your little numbers were ticking down, like for your reinforcements. You're like, we can still fight this, and it was like 1 to 200, and you're like, I don't think we're gonna make it out of this, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
fun.
No. Oh yeah. I remember I really liked those the droid echos in that one.
Yeah.
Like you just roll around and then you like roll out and
Oh,
throw
yeah.
your shield and pew 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 pew. Those guys were fun to play as. Yeah.
They're hard to kill too. It was very hard to kill the droid
Yeah.
those. Yeah, that's my first memory, and like I said, it involved you. So
Nice.
yeah, that was a very very fond memory I have with the PS2, with Battlefront 2, and you.
Yeah, that was
for
fun.
sure. So yeah, what's another one you got? You said
All right.
yeah, probably 2 or 3.
Yeah,
2 or 3 is
I
fine.
have three.
Yeah,
I have three.
4.
So
Okay, perfect.
the next one, I'll go ahead and do the one that includes you. So
Oh yeah,
as a treat. So
as a little something.
So you remember I had the little teeny tiny little white tube TV in my room that we would
Yeah.
all huddle around to try and play games on, you know.
Yeah,
And then for
totally.
I was having like my birthday party early for some reason, and that
I
'cause that
remember
just
this,
worked
yes.
out for everyone. My parents were like, we saw you guys like huddle around his tiny little TV. We're just gonna give you
Yes,
this
dude.
early, and it was a nice like a 22-inch flat screen TV. And
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
so cool.
Oh my gosh, this is so bougie. This is so much better than the like 13-inch little TV that we're trying to play on right now. Because I think that was like a 13-inch screen or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, and those TVs back then were really expensive. Like they're giving away
Yeah.
TVs now. Like back then, they were pretty pricey. So when we saw that, we were like, "Oh my god, this is they shelled it out, dude."
Yeah,
you know?
it was a little 22-inch, but yeah, back then that was a huge deal. So that
It was a huge
it
deal.
was it was a little beast of a flat screen too. Like it was one of the old bulky style ones, and it that thing lasted me a long time, but it eventually gave out
Yeah.
while I was in college. I was using it as a like a computer monitor. Like I used it and used it and used it and used it, and it eventually just gave out on me. Like I think something to do with like the power cycling was going bad on it, and so like I'd have to like cycle the power, like pull the power cord for a while and then plug it back in to get it to work, and it just got it just it served me well. But yeah, that was a fun memory, because then we just we set up that TV real quick, and got the Wii plugged back into it and kept playing Brawl. We were playing Brawl.
Yeah.
I remember that much.
Yeah, we were. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, we were playing Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because you got tired of Melee after a bit, because we had just
Yeah.
spent our entire adolescence playing it. And
Yeah.
you're like, I got this new TV, I got a Wii. let's just play Brawl, and we played that all
We
night.
we would go back and forth between the games for sure, but
I bring this up to my wife sometimes. I always find it really funny that whenever we go over to your parents' house, whenever they're like, "Hey, what's ours is yours, like yours is mine," sort of thing. Raid our fridge, eat our food, like crazy stuff. Like I've never heard this before. Like I come from a large family. Food is like it's not scarce, but like
I know.
We're not eating everything in sight. Like but your parents are like, "Do you want food? I will make you food." Like I remember like having these sleepovers, and like your dad would be up really late sometimes. He's like, "Hey, do you guys want pancakes?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, I want pancakes at 10:30. Let's do it."
No, they were always great about that.
Yeah,
for sure. And
they were always great about that.
I've kind of tried to be like that as well. That's just kind of something I've inherited. Is that like whenever I have people over, I always make sure that people are fed and happy. You used to call me soccer mom because I'd have like snacks in my little like mini fridge.
Oh my god, dude! I was like, you got the hookup here, dude. I should just live here. Good times. Even when your mom has always been like a second mom to me. For sure, so.
Same for your mom. Honestly, like it's been good, so.
I mean, your mom is generous with the food, which. If you take a look at me, I've been generous with it myself. So, some good moments there. But we definitely played Brawl. I remember that.
Oh yeah, we definitely played Brawl. But
for sure.
Because that was before the Wii U era. Yeah, that was still during the Wii era.
Oh yeah, I think it was a couple years before the Wii U. This had to have been like 2010 to 2011-ish.
That sounds right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Something like that, about 15, 16 years ago. Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's really good too. I remember that vividly too.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is my second one, right? Yeah, my second one. I remember this pretty clear. It was kind of it was a great birthday. I got 2 big gifts on this birthday. The first, I got my first phone. This was, what was this? I think this was 2012 or 13. I think of my life in like landmarks with entertainment. Like I'm like, oh, this movie came out this time. This game came out this time. I was at this point in my life. That's just how my brain thinks. I don't know why. Yeah. I thought like, oh, the Avengers came out in 2012. It had to have been after that. Like I don't know why. I'm broken.
Well, you're on the right track then if you're doing media podcasts and.
Yeah, I mean, it's got me this far, right? Yeah. I might as well just be true to myself. But yeah, I remember it was my birthday. Yeah, it was my birthday. I got a phone, the phone with like all the number keys and like it was like QWERTY everything.
Yeah.
Nice. Like that phone was sick.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. It was really. I mean, you didn't have to. Yeah, you didn't have to triple tap anything. It had every letter of the alphabet ready for you. So I was just whipping out text left and right. But it was a 2-pronged thing. I went and got, basically it's like, my parents sat me down. They're like, hey, so it's your birthday. We haven't gotten you anything today yet, but we want to get you something. Just go with your dad, pick out your phone. You get to pick a phone in this price range. You could also pick out 1 video game. I was like, okay, great. This is awesome. This is the best news I've ever had.
Yeah.
And at that point, my parents were really strict about like video game time, like only on Saturdays. You can't even play during the week, like nothing, nothing.
Yep.
So you had to be you had to get all your schoolwork done too. Like it was very like ingrained in my head. One day a week, an hour that you can play. Like that's it. But since it's your birthday, you can play an hour tonight. So I was like, okay. And my birthday was like on a Friday, something like that. Whatever it was.
Yep.
But we went to Walmart. Picked out the phone, great phone. We got it on, and then I went to the video game section. At this point, I had my 360. I don't think I had Fallout 3 yet, which became like my 360 game along with Skyrim. Like those are the games I played, not exclusively, but pretty directly. I played those games the most. I was a huge fan of. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars.
Yep.
Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Ooh.
Came out in 2008 or 9 or whatever. I played the ever-living crap out of that game, so much of that game, and I was like, okay, I hear these sequels out. This has to be great because the first one's so good. So I saw The Force Unleashed 2 was there. Bought it for full price. My dad was shocked at the price. He was like, $60 for this? $60 for a Star Wars? I didn't hear the end of it. Like, he got home, told my mom, like, this game was $60. And she was like, what? Like, why did you let him get it? And he's like, that's what he wanted. $60 for a video game. He was just completely shocked by that. Because we never, ever bought new video games like that. It was always, we would always go to vintage stock and pick off the shelf. Like, that's how it was. Yeah, I played Force Unleashed 2. Not all night, but I played a couple hours of it. Yeah, I got away with a second hour because my mom went to bed. But I played the Force Unleashed 2. I thought it was like the best game ever, and then it finished in 6 hours. I was like, what the hell, you know? I finished it in like 2 settings, and I was like, damn, that's all.
That wasn't really worth it.
No, and the game is also worse than the first one. But yeah, that's one of my memories.
Nice.
Ooh, pardon me. Sorry. Yeah, that's another one right there. So
yeah, you definitely unlocked a lot of things with like the strict timing on gaming. And, yeah, yep. I mean, I remember I used to have like my parents would have me do a timer for the amount of piano practice I wanted to do, and I would do that much practice, and then I would get that much time on like my GameCube to play like Sonic Adventure or whatever. So yeah.
yeah, it's like making deals with your parents is like one of the biggest social constructs of playing video games as a child, I found.
Yeah, and like that, I think that was just like our generation's thing, because like I don't even think that was really a big thing like before our generation, and I definitely don't think that's a thing like with like this generation. I really think it was like that, like our sort of like the tail beginning of like Gen Z era, because that's where we sit. It's like the very, very, very beginning of Gen Z. And because we're not quite millennials. No, we're not quite Gen Z. We're like right there. Yeah, we're in a weird spot, and that I think our generation just got the short end of the stick in a lot of ways for things like that. It was like a weird. It was like a weird countercultural movement that happened with like content and things, and like kids being, I don't know. It's before the advent of technology being like everywhere. Yes. Like that was like the last holdout from, you know, like these classes to parent your kids different ways, like these wholesome classes that were kind of the rage all around the Midwest. Yep. Like that does not exist anymore. No. Because media literacy is a lot higher than it was back then, and technology is way more prevalent than it ever was back then. Like we straight up did not have the internet for years. Yeah. Like years. And at that point, it was fine because it was like, whatever. Like we have flip phones for the longest time, or we have Blackberries. But like, once the iPhone came out, once internet got better, like once dial-up went away, like that changed, not overnight, but like pretty seriously. I remember the change where we're like, "Oh, you're getting internet in the house." I was like, "What the hell?" Yeah. And it's like it just changed our lives. Yep. It just completely changed it. No, I completely agree. And it's interesting. Like I think about sometimes I have these like sort of like, you know, I guess shower thoughts or something like that, and it's just totally, like totally. It's just like, you know, our generation really did, like where we sit there in like born in, you know, 98 is like really the turning point of like all of these, like the convergence of all these technologies coming together. That's like when they started coming together to produce, you know, the heavily technology dependent world that we see today. Like the heavily interconnected and constantly connected world that we see today. That was all just starting to burgeon when we were growing up. So like we grew up with those sort of technologies, like with the home computer and with the, you know, the like literally I've owned throughout my life pretty much every single style of phone like ever made. Like I've owned a Nokia. I've owned a standard like flip phone. I've owned like one of like the sliding ones with the keyboards. I've owned like
the
sidekicks,
sort of Motorola sidekicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've owned like the like you could slide them up to get like the numbers and like the little press multiple times, and then or you could slide them to the left, and then you'd get like the full like keypad. I've used like Blackberries, and then I've used iPhones and Androids, and so I really I've used every single piece of technology like in that sort of in the phone sort of space, right? I've touched on every single sort of piece of technology in the mobile phone sort of space and used all of them extensively. Like I extensively played Snake on my Nokia phone. I have vivid memories of that. I've extensively played, the crappy, like platformers and Bejeweled demos and things like that on like a, crappy flip phone, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I played Doom RPG on a freaking flip phone.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It basically where we were born and where we grew up was the death of the media monoculture. Like once technology became mass market, mass appeal, and basically like most people had a thing to connect to the internet.
Yep.
Like the whole like we all sit down, we do the one thing together. That was like over by the time we kind of reached middle to high school. Like everyone was splintering off into their own categories, interests, and different ways they touch technology.
Yeah.
And we got to see like the rise of it. The rise of the iPhone was a big
the rise of social media
landmark.
Like, yeah,
that's really what it is. Honestly, if you want to pinpoint directly what it is, it's social media being so prevalent.
Yeah.
In 2006 to 9 with Facebook and MySpace and all that stuff.
MySpace like laid the groundwork, but Facebook is what really like made it mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's funny. Like I went and did this work trip with my dad one time where he used to run a barbecue joint. He actually worked at Dickies for a long time. He was like a manager there, and went out on the road and did some like events or whatever that were like overnights. But there was a guy there who was just like this freaking chode. I don't even know his name, but he was trying to tell me how good MySpace was and how bad Facebook was, and I'm like, I hate to tell you, man, like MySpace is going the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Like MySpace still exists today in some form, but
it's not.
No one uses it. No. Yeah, it was fun for a time.
Oh yeah, it's I had a MySpace. Let me tell you, it was a sight to behold.
Yeah, old internet, baby.
I had
game messaging. Yeah.
Yeah, I had so much custom, like CSS in there. It would turn your mouse cursor into Shadow the Hedgehog, and it had Linkin Park going in the background.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was so cool. Oh my gosh, my MySpace page. If I could ever find that thing, I would be so happy.
That MySpace page has just the vibes of puka shells and Axe cologne all over it. Like that's the look and feel of it.
And this was like I think I was like around 11 years old when that thing came out. Like I had my like whole like MySpace page at like 11 years old. So I grew up with the internet. My family always had internet. So growing up, I always had access to the internet. And even as like a small child, like I would get up late and I would go to my dad's office as like a 4-year-old child and just start clicking around on the internet and like finding games to play on like the Nickelodeon Kids like site. Sure. And this was back in like 2002 that I was doing this, and
dang.
So
very mature child, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, but so all that to say, like, yeah, I've literally seen the progression from like the stone ages of old internet to now. Like, I spent a little too much time on like 4chan, but it's neither here nor there. But that was kind of the social media niche that I found. Honestly, I spent a lot of time on that paranormal board. That board's fun. That's a really fun board, the paranormal board.
Yeah.
But,
4chan is a cesspool of idiocy these days, but it used to be somewhat special back in the day.
It really has, yeah. I tried to go back to it like after like college, and like I didn't even understand half the language they were using. I was like, what is this term? I had to like look up online like what like this like words even meant, because they like kept saying words like kino and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what this means. I guess it means like it's good like cinema or something like that. But I had to look that up because I wasn't there when that word was invented. That word was invented after I stopped going on the site, because I had to go out and like, you know, do people things, you know, so I didn't really have time to be online a whole lot. And so like when I came back to it after graduating college, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what these people are saying anymore.
It's like a mutilated leet speak that they speak there.
Yeah.
That's really odd.
Yeah.
You know? Like weird, like not even trendy verbiage, but just odd verbiage. Yeah, totally.
You just have to be lurk more, as they used to say. I think they still say that, but
basically.
But yeah, I spent a lot of time on there. I'm not like, you know, it is what it is, you know. I kind of a little bit grew up in that sort of culture, you know, and but I don't think it made me any like worse of a person. Like, you know, it can, if you let it, obviously, that sort of culture. But
for sure, yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, that takes us both back a while, just reminiscing about all that, just like the era we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just to cap it off, any other nostalgic memories for your last kind of video game memory about a birthday? Do you have another one?
Yeah, I got another one. So this is a funny one. So
okay.
So I the Nintendo DSi came out around one of my birthdays, and
oh wow,
because that's just kind of like how the console releases work, right? They kind of tend to come out in like summertime, so that's kind of nice.
Summer or fall,
yeah. And so I was like, yeah, this is the, you know, next big thing. I wanted to, you know, get one of these things as it's releasing, because I guess I had done that with the Wii as well, but sort of belated, because the Wii sold out like hotcakes. That was a crazy time for sure. The start of Scalpers.
Yeah, I remember that.
The start of Scalpers. That really was, I think, the start of like the whole like scalping and like selling for a higher price on eBay. I think that the Nintendo Wii was what really started that movement.
Oh
in
yeah,
gaming.
For sure. I remember you had a hell of a time
2007.
getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was all
you
the
had
way
a
back
hell
in
of a time getting
2007, and it hasn't gotten much better since. I really don't think they've learned at all. It's been like almost 20 years, and they still haven't like made these things easier to get on release. It's kind of crazy.
I will say the Switch 2. It feels like there's been like, if you wanted one, I feel like you could get one for the most part. You just kind of had to know where to look, and you had to be available to buy one.
Yeah.
I think they've been better about this than the previous. Like the Switch was a little tougher. I feel like people were like kind of like about Nintendo at that point.
Yeah,
but
the Switch wasn't hard to get. I didn't think the Switch was too hard to get, because people were like kind of about Nintendo. Like you were saying, after the Wii U, they were like, Nintendo's gonna fail. I was like biggest Nintendo fanboy, and I was like, yeah, Nintendo's done for. They're probably just gonna like sell to like Sony or Microsoft or something. Like I had no faith in the Switch, and then I was like, I guess I'll get this thing so I can play Zelda. But
yeah, well, why wouldn't you think that? I mean, like the Wii U was the Wii U.
I was like the Wii U guy. I was like their biggest fan, like their biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
for sure.
They're like, nope, we don't care about you anymore. It's been like a year, but yeah, we're not gonna make games for this thing anymore. it's like, oh,
You didn't play Devil's Third, so we're punishing
well,
you. Like,
yeah,
that's what
I
we're
didn't.
doing.
That's my bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I was basically
bad.
playing like good games, but
Yeah, no Zombie U for you, because
Yeah.
you don't know good games.
that's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, anyway.
yeah. So, anyways, sidetrack. So yeah, DSI. Yeah. So I remember we went to. Yeah, I think they actually just they bought that one outright for me because I was thinking of the 3DS was a bit different because I sold my DSi to get that one, but the 3DS they bought that one outright, and I remember I gave my DS Lite to my sister, and she still has my DS Lite.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So she plays like Animal Crossing Wild World. I bought her Animal Crossing Wild World for it not too long ago.
Nice.
So yeah, she still has that. She still plays it once in a while. I had the DSi, and I remember because it was a big deal because like that was the first like handheld Nintendo thing that connected to the internet. So I'm like, ooh, it connects to the internet. Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I tried to get as many like free things as I could, and I remember one thing for it was you got one like free download game because it was like such a big deal to like be doing download things on a handheld. They're like, we want to like people to figure out how to do this thing, so we're just gonna like give them like a free download game. And so with that, I got Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Minis March Again. And
Yeah.
I like was not a puzzler person up till that point. Like the most I'd played of like puzzle games was like Bejeweled and like what's that other one?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Zuma, like the one with like the frog.
Zuma,
thing.
yeah, with the frog. Mm-hmm.
Those are like the most puzzly things I can think of that I was like playing at that point. So like that was like a puzzler's puzzler, that Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again. But I remember it had like a custom level editor, and that was a lot of fun to mess around with. But the funny part of the story is that so I also downloaded Flipnote Studio. And
Flipnote, Flipnote.
Yep. That was the killer app for the DSi. Like anyone who talks about the DSi, the Flipnote Studio is right there. That was like the one thing that it did that nobody else ever did or has done since. Really, like there's never been like another like real like Flipnote. It was its own social media sort of phenomenon with the
It's really cool.
the Flipnote Hatena service on there, and I remember. Because I was like a kid, I couldn't actually access the service until I got like a permission thing from my parents. But to get that to them, my dad had to send them a fax from his fax machine in order for me to gain access to Flipnote Hatena. My dad had to send them a actual fax from his fax machine. I kid you not.
That's insane.
It was insane.
God.
It was absolutely insane. But that's like that's it though. That's it. That's where the technology is still not there for it to be just like, we can just do this in an email. It had to be like this official thing, like a fax machine, because I was a minor. And so they had to have like an official like consent sort of thing to allow me into this service. And so it had to specifically be a legal fax document. Isn't that wild though? Like, isn't that so cool?
That is so wild.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Yeah, I mean, okay, so it's cool, but it's also like extremely draconian because that's a Nintendo thing to do. It goes like, hey, fax us your credentials. Like, that's an insane thing to ask of anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened, like, ever. I can't think of a single instance of, like, an online service asking for a fax, nor do I think that will ever happen again. But
that's
I kid you not.
The closest other thing Yeah, the closest other thing I could think of is giving your number to Blizzard for Overwatch 2 on release. Like,
Well,
that's a weird practice too.
that was weird, but it wasn't like you had to send them a fax from your fax machine.
Totally.
Weird. Like, my dad just happened to still have a fax machine, and so, because DSi wasn't too long ago. That was like maybe 2010, 2011, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the DSi,
Yeah.
because that was the second iteration. Of
I think the 3DS
3DS,
was 2012, if I remember right.
I think you're right.
And then the
yeah, it definitely was
the
because
Wii U
Shovel Knight
was
was a launch game.
Yeah, and then the Wii U was like 2014, I think, right?
The Wii U was, I think it was.
Somewhere
Was it
around
2014? I think. Yeah, it was right. It was because it didn't release the same year as the PS4 and Xbox One. I think it did.
Maybe.
Pretty sure.
It was
launched
severely
in, like,
underpowered
January.
compared to those guys. That's for sure. Holy crap!
That entire generation was underpowered as heck. Yeah.
I thought the
but
PS4
yeah, that's an
was fine,
insane
but
story.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they were underpowered for what they could have done.
Yeah.
They kept them underpowered because they didn't want to charge that much after a long hiatus making consoles.
And also after like the launch of the PS3, that wasn't a great launch at all for them. So
Not a great launch. I mean, the PS3. You want to talk trials and tribulations? I mean, the great PS3 outage. You know, there was a bunch of the manufacturing issues, the core issues with the cell processor. I mean,
they crammed
the
an
PS3 is
entire
kind of a
PlayStation
mess.
2 inside of there, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna sell you this brand new system alongside yet another PlayStation 2 that you probably already have lying around." Like, no, that's not a great idea. Like,
No, it's really not. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's
that was a crazy time.
whatever.
Those were crazy times. That HD era in general, that was a crazy era. That
yeah. There's some really good games in that era. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Jackie Guard 3 is one of them.
It is a game. You're right. It is a game.
It's great.
I think that's definitely the time it came out. But yeah, the fax is
yeah,
might be one
the
of
fax
wild ones
machine
I've heard.
Flipnote
I'm not gonna lie.
Hatena. Yep, that was the kicker on that one. So that one sticks out to me because
I think that's the winner of this story time. I don't think I can top that with mine. I have a couple for my last one that I'm like juggling. Which one I want to talk about? I think I've talked about the Skyrim purchase here.
Yep, you've talked about the Skyrim
before.
purchase on here. I'm pretty sure.
I've talked about the
That's a
Skyrim
good
one. I don't know if I talked about the Fallout 3 one. Have I talked about the Fallout 3 one? Where with the owner that was okay. I'm gonna just say it. I think
Sure.
that was one because it was a birthday window thing where I got it around my birthday time,
Yep.
but not like on my birthday. There was this game store in local Ozark, and the guy that ran it was just he ripped everybody off. He was terrible. His name was like I don't even care to name names. His name was like Dimitri or Damien or something. He sucked. One of the worst guys ever. You're just like, how can you run a store? You're an asshole. But there was a copy of Fallout 3, which I love. Fallout 3, I played at my friend's house, Pastor Kit's house, whatever. And I was just like, I gotta get this game, you know. I was like, I need to buy this game. Whatever I need to do, I need to buy this game. I became obsessed with it at some point. I watched all the videos I could on it. I read everything. I bought the strategy guide for that original Fallout 3. I think I lost it by this point for all the moves we've been through. But anyway, I adored that game. I had to convince my parents to buy it because M-rated games, no. That was a no-no in our house. Like, no M-rated games. Not even without reason. And, like, Fallout 3 is, like, it's pretty tame by, like, now standards, but there's some stuff in there that would be objectionable to parents like mine.
New Vegas was way wilder, that's for sure.
Vegas, I'm sure, was way wilder.
Yeah.
I don't remember the particulars of Vegas. I've only beaten it once. I feel like I haven't done everything either, but Fallout 3 has its fair share of interesting stuff in it. Like, I don't know, the whole little lamplight thing where all the kids are cussing at you.
Well,
My parents probably wouldn't be a fan of that.
probably not.
But anyway, I convinced my dad. So he was he was into this like water purification thing for a while, and that's kind of like the story of Fallout 3. Like you're trying to, cleanse the waters of Washington D.C. from radiation.
Yep.
I was like telling my dad like, hey, this is kind of what you're doing. Like you're trying to do this. He bought this like prototype machine, to like help fix well water, whatever. Kind of like
I think I kind of remember that
filter.
Yeah. I think I kind of remember him having
be this
that.
filter. Yeah, he got into it like as a business with some people.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went, but he ended up going to Haiti with it as a kind of a side bit to the story, and left it there with the church's blessing, and like kind of saved a whole village for water,
Nice.
which is cool. Yeah, really good story. But anyway, he was into this whole enterprise called Water for Life, and I basically told him like, hey, I want to buy this video game, and he's like, okay, it's your birthday, I'll let you buy it. You can use my money. It was like $60. It was the Game of the Year edition. So it had everything included in it. I was like, okay, great. We go to the store. I call the store. I'm like, do you have this? He's like, yes. I was like, can you tell me the price? He's like, I can't do that. You got to come in. I'm like, come on.
Weird.
I show up. Yeah, I show up. This guy got it at the counter like he said he would. It was complete wrapped, whatever. He probably wrapped it. I don't know. It felt like it was shrink wrap.
Yeah.
Game of the Year edition with the Brotherhood of Steel soldier on it. It tells you about all the add-ons. I was like, this is a dream come true. This is my forever game. I'm going to be playing so much of this thing. And I basically told my dad, like, hey, this is about, purifying the water, which it is. That's like the point of the story. And he's like, all about it. He's like, oh, really? I'll play it with you. Like, this sounds fascinating. I'm like, it's great. Like, I love this game. We get up to the counter, and it's rated M, obviously. My dad's like, your mom's going to be pissed if I buy this for you. I was like, I know, but you said I could be whatever, and it's totally fine. Like, I had to resell him on it. And the freaking guy at the kiosk or whatever, the front desk, the owner of this place, was like, yeah, you don't want him playing this. This is rated M stuff. He's a little kid. I was like, what are you doing? I straight up asked him. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, are you an idiot?
Are you trying not to sell things? Like, no wonder your store is like gone under since then. Like, I know exactly what store you're talking about, and they're gonzo. Like, they're done for.
They're
Finished.
done.
Yeah.
This guy was such a prick. Like, he was just like actively trying to not sell me this game.
Yeah.
I was like, what is your problem?
I have,
you're not my
I have another
freaking
story
dad.
with that store, but yeah.
Okay, we'll segue into that.
Yeah.
Keep that under your hat for sure. That'll be the closing end to this. This guy is a piece of work.
Ugh.
Trying to sell me. My dad was so mad at him though. He was just like, "You're not gonna tell my kid what he can and can't play. Like, I am the arbiter of this." I'm like, He's like, "I'm gonna just buy this out of principle because this guy's such shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
awesome.
like, "Great! I want to play this game anyway." Of course, my mom was not happy.
Right.
But when he explained what happened, she was like, "Okay, we'll play this with adult supervision." I didn't. I got that copy taken from me multiple times because of it. But yeah, that's it was like around my birthday time, sort of thing for that game. But it was so weird. Like, this guy was trying to not sell this game, and we spent like $50 on it too, and like that was a big sale for him. I'm sure he didn't have anybody coming through.
No, he didn't. No, nobody went to that store. Like, nobody.
No, he was awful.
awful.
But yeah, that was my last story. I guess So Kangaroo, jumping off of that.
I just had a fun little anecdote about that store.
Let's hear our grievances out. This guy sucks.
Yeah, this guy sucks. So, I've talked about this. I think on the pod, but it was that same store where I was out with my parents and one day, and like I had been talking about Fire Emblem Awakening nonstop. Like, that was like my game. That was like, oh, I this game's coming out, and then I'd be like talking about it before it came out. Then I'm like, oh, the game's out. You can do this, and this. It's such this deep strategy, RPG sort of thing, And I had been coming off of like playing like Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, and so like the deep strategy pieces of that. I'm like, man, these games are awesome. These are like the coolest games ever, and I don't think I had ever talked about a game as much as I did Fire Emblem Awakening even before having the game. And my dad was like, hey, if you want the game so bad, let's just go get you the game. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know we did that.
You're like,
okay.
Is it that easy?
We do that?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
I didn't know you possessed that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I learned very, very quick as a kid. I don't ask for things like that. That's just not something that, like, kids are meant to be seen and not heard. Like, that was our generation, right? And so
yeah, for sure.
yeah, like, we were even going through some old, like, family videos, and, like, my sister's, like, trying to, like, help me like, open, like, birthday gifts, and my mom's like, no, be quiet, go in the corner. She felt so bad seeing that footage. She's like, that was just how we were told to be parents. We were told that we had to make our kids, be seen and not heard, and so it's such a weird parent. How did that happen? I mean, that was just, like, our generation was, like, the only generation affected by that weird stuff, honestly. Like,
yeah, before you continue, yeah, I agree with you. Like, that thing specifically, I can relate to it. It was the seen and not heard stuff. We also would put our hands either on our parents' shoulder or hips.
Yeah.
I think your parents and my parents went to the same classes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think they did. It was like, like, oh, I'm putting my hand there so I have a question for you. I need to say something. And sometimes from time to time, I'll still do that. My mom will be like, you don't have to do this anymore. I'm like,
it's
well,
like
you
conditioned me to do that. It really is conditioned. Like, I still,
Dude.
as an adult, don't ask my parents for anything. And, like, once in a while, they'll be like, hey, like, we haven't done anything for you in a while. Like, you don't ask us for anything. And I'm like, that's what you told me to do! I don't ask you for things because you told me to do that! You raised me to do that. Like, it's not a bad thing that you raised me to do that. It's just, my nature is like, yeah, I'll take care of it myself if I need something. Like, and so...
We went into stores, my parents are like, shut up, don't ask for shit, keep your hands on the cart, and keep moving. That was it. So, yeah.
And I'm sure it was, like, times 10 because you had, like, a ton of siblings, but... I even...
Nobody went shopping. Nobody went shopping. Everyone stayed home.
Yeah, exactly. And, even I as a kid, though, like, when I get dragged to the store, like, I just shut up and did nothing. I still don't like shopping, honestly, because of that.
I don't mind it.
It's alright. Yeah. But,
it's fine.
It's, so it was just, like, a weird thing, and so, like, yeah, okay, let's go over to, this store over around the corner, and let's go get this thing. Like, they probably have it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they had it, but they were selling it for, like, $70 for a 3DS game.
$70?
Yes.
You're lying.
No, $70 for a 3DS game.
He is high.
Yes.
What in the world? Yes,
absolutely. That guy... No, no other store in the history of ever would have sold that game around release time for $70. Like, that was not a hard to get game. That was a mass produced game.
Weren't 3DS games like
$40? $40. Yep.
That's crazy.
$30 price
That's almost
tag.
2 games.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. I remember it very clearly that it was $70, but my dad was like, "Yeah, I said I was going to get this thing for you. I am going to get this thing for you." So.
What a champ! What a champ!
Yeah,
that's
insane.
He got
ripped off.
That's literally robbery.
Yeah, he got ripped off so bad. Like, we never went to that place again after that. But I wanted that game so bad, and like, so
$70 for a 3DS game is just You might as well stab me. What
nowadays, sure, those are like collector's games. So like, especially like those Pokemon ones, like people pay those prices. But like, that was around release for the stupid game.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What is
that's
that?
Bonanza. Yeah, that's Bonanza.
That guy is Bonanza. That guy is freaking out of his gourd.
He's like the one guy that I'm like, yeah, you don't deserve to be in business, buddy. Like, you just don't. Like, that guy is,
You'll never see the light of heaven with ethics like that.
No, heavens no. Like, ripping people off just blatantly. Like, sure, maybe he was struggling because the store, wasn't very popular and like, but it doesn't mean you gotta rip off like the few customers you do get. Like,
yeah, that's probably why he couldn't retain anybody. Like, this guy, I know we're talking about this random store owner of our town that we had a vendetta against, but like, this guy was crazy. Like, he didn't last for very long. He moved like twice, and you're just like, who the hell is this guy? And he can't keep his business because he's obviously screwing people over.
And now there's not a single game store in that town now. Not a single one in that town. Yeah.
Well, there used to be, and then they took that out too. Yeah.
The one that was by my place, that they moved a long time ago. They like moved to like freaking like Kansas City. Like I remember like looking into it because I was like, that's my favorite place. They had they had a dude dressed up as Bowser out there. There's some photo floating around of me as a kid with the dude dressed up like Bowser on the street corner holding like a sign for the store. Yeah,
that's crazy.
But
oh my god.
Yeah, that was a cool store. That they had really good prices. I remember specifically getting like Luigi's Mansion from that place. I remember that specifically.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Yeah.
So
like the remake for 3DS or
no,
that
the
would
original
have been
GameCube one. Yes, way back.
Yeah,
in the
no,
day.
you
the
mentioned. Sorry,
no, you're good. You're good. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm jumping around.
Lagged.
But,
I was like, oh right, that's right.
Jumping around, but yeah, that was the original GameCube one. Yep. I
Okay,
should have picked up. I don't know why I didn't pick up Paper Mario. For some reason, I thought Luigi's Mansion would have been better than Paper Mario. Well,
you would have gotten bang for your buck for Paper Mario, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a huge game. But Luigi's Mansion was a great game. Don't get me wrong. I love Luigi's Mansion. It is good, but it's a pretty short one.
Yeah. Yeah, you could beat that game in a sitting if you really tried. Like it's like a 5 to 6 hour game.
Yeah. It's more of a tech demo, really. Honestly, like they play around with a lot of the effects of the GameCube, which some of those effects are kind of cool. It's a good looking GameCube game, let me tell you.
So when you get your Switch 2, I think you should play Luigi's Mansion 3. That game is so good, dude.
I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of people about Luigi's Mansion 3.
So good.
I
might
never
be one of my
myself
favorite
to play
Nintendo
the
games.
other ones, but
Dark Moon's not very good.
Okay.
They remastered that recently.
Yeah.
Don't even spend your time with Dark Moon.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is so
I've heard a lot of good
awesome.
things about 3.
Yes, it's a perfect mid-range Halloween game too. Like it's not scary, but it's got those spooky vibes you want. It's so it's
that
so
original
good.
Luigi's
Mansion
game has some really good vibes though. Like I love.
The
original one. Like it's a great game.
Yeah, it feels like it's the true successor to the first one. It really does.
That's good to hear.
The second one's like level based, which is weird. The first one kind of is, but the second one even more so. You're doing multiple mansions in the second one. That's the setup.
I wouldn't like.
Yeah, and it's not great. The third one is like a hotel.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I like the haunted hotel thing. They did that in in Super Mario Sunshine. It's a good game.
Oh gosh, it's dude, I adored that game so much. I beat that. Was that last year or the year before? I beat it in the last couple years, and I loved it to pieces, man. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
Next level, they should get carte blanche for how good that game is. That game sold 20 million copies on Switch. It's like the silent juggernaut of the system, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, a lot of people. Insane. I know a lot of people that bought that game and were like, "Yeah, this game is great."
Yeah. It is so good. They just get everything right. The animation's fantastic.
They need to update that game for the dang the Switch 2. Why is that not on the list?
I think they might. I think they might. I really do. And they might just make it run better. I mean, they might just do that and not put a label on it. You know?
Do they have freaking Pikmin 4 as one of the games that are getting up-res for the? They literally have the mouse. Why can't we use the mouse to control the dude? That's the perfect game for the stupid Switch 2 mouse. That's the one.
Apparently it's supposed to be so tactile you could do it on your couch, but why would you? You know what I mean? The whole mouse functionality.
I mean, unless if I really have a hankering for some Sid Meier's Civilization, and need to play some of that. I don't know what other game I'm going to be playing with that mouse function, unless if they do Pikmin, because Pikmin, I would use a mouse to play Pikmin. I would try it.
I hear so a couple things. I hear Metroid Prime 4 is really good with that mouse.
Really? Okay, I will be checking.
I've heard a lot of people that play that event.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they're this is great. You could either do 60 or 120 for some of the modes, and it's just buttery smooth. And it works out. It just works on your pant leg too. It works seamlessly. Because it's not working off a trackpad; it's working off a motion.
Yep.
and it's just like sourced in the Switch 2.
Yep.
So you're moving and it's just sensitive. So you just have to have a Surface really, and
Yeah.
they kind of designed it for that. And then the second thing is like once that Fire Emblem remake comes out, like they should have mouse functionality for that. That would be incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
That'd be so good. I'm waiting for like the hoary actual like mouse pad for the Switch. That would be cool. Like an actual mouse. I think that would work.
That'd be funny.
That'd be really cool. But yeah.
The Switch 2 mouse.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to be like one of the old ones with like the little like rubber ball in there. It can't be like one of those newfangled laser mice.
I saw a meme of the you know those mice that had water in them?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? You haven't seen those? There was a meme I saw of somebody's in the hospital and they're hooked up to tubes and IVs. They're like, "Bro, don't drink the Microsoft mouse water." they're just put in a bed, like a hospital bed.
I have seen like a Super Mario Sunshine like promotional thing that had like water inside of it, and I saw one that was similar to that, and it was like, "Don't drink the Super Mario Sunshine water."
Oh my god, that's really good.
It has like little like glitter bits and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the long roundabout way to finish that topic, I would say.
Yeah.
Screw that guy in particular.
Yeah,
whatever his name is. Good riddance.
For real. Yeah.
I hope he wakes up with chapped lips.
Yeah.
Hope he wakes up with chapped lips.
Hope he gets a better
to kind of
that too.
Right. I mean, usually as you get older, you become more set in your ways, so he probably hasn't gotten better. But, let's talk about some stuff we've been kind of looking into besides that. I haven't been doing a ton. I'll just remark upon the couple things I have been watching. Same for you. I don't think you have a ton going on either. Just watching Champloo here and there where I can.
It's a good show.
I don't have a problem with that show, but like I feel like I have to like make an effort to watch it because it's not one long story. It's like little segments. You know, I feel like I have to be in the mood for it a little bit.
Monster of the
I
Week
don't
a
hate
little
it
bit,
at all.
But it has
like,
a story, but it is very Monster of the Week as well.
It is very Monster of the Week. It's very Cowboy Bebop that way, where I'm like, okay, I have to kind of be in the mood to kind of get invested in a one-shot story sort of thing. The thing that's easy about like a One Piece or whatever is you can just watch it and like things are happening all the way like back and forth, you know, that sort of thing. I haven't watched One Piece in like a month. I've been kind of being diligent on Champloo. And I think the thing that we decided, you and I, is we're going to split that tape stuck into 2 episodes, finishing the first and second half, and we'll figure it out. Probably after Excalibur for the most part. So I've been watching some Champloo. My wife and I are watching through the final season of You on Netflix. It's like this. It was a Lifetime, like saucy, sexy thriller about a serial killer or whatever who like you felt compassionate about because he was a sociopath, whatever. And it got moved to Netflix in its like second season, and we just for some reason we just watched it when we started dating, and now it's just like ending recently. So we're kind of getting through that. It's good. It's like kind of trashy in some ways, but it's a fun show. If you have a significant other, it's a fun time. So we're watching You. We finished Mad Men actually. That was like one of our big iconic shows down. We might. I know you love Lost. I think we're probably going to watch Lost next.
Lost is good.
Yeah, and for me, it's just like, and I know I shouldn't be complaining because I'm the One Piece guy, but like 22 episodes.
Oh my kind of a lot. Gosh! Yeah, you're not allowed to complain. Just stop. I'm gonna stop.
I'm not allowed to complain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just but I don't know why that's dissuading me. But
weird.
I will watch Lost probably next, and then
it's a good show.
We'll have a kind of a.
I need to watch that show.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a new show to kind of.
5 times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're okay. So we have been watching another new thing. Well, not new, but we continue to watch The Last of Us 2, season 2. And man, I think every week the quality of that show keeps dipping. Like it's just.
Are any of those like video game shows really good? Like.
Oh yeah, that Fallout show is excellent.
The Fallout show is okay. I guess I have heard good things about that Fallout show. Maybe I need to check that out.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Like the guy that made the show, the showrunner, Jonathan Nolan, the brother of Christopher Nolan, played those games, very well versed in that series, and it shows. Like, there's a lot of attention to detail in that series, and a really good story too. Like for season 2 for Fallout, it's not a spoiler. They're going to New Vegas, which is awesome.
I like New Vegas. It's
Yeah,
my favorite.
so I think you should watch
setting.
season 1 of that. Maybe we could do that for Tape Stuck too as a refresher because season 2 comes out this year, and it's really good. It's really good. I highly recommend that show. But yeah, we're just watching through The Last of Us 2, and I don't like The Last of Us 2 game that much because I feel like I have serious misgivings about how it treats its characters. But like season 2 is like, I don't know, man. Like season 2 of the show is just, I feel like Ellie is just straight up miscast. Like she is just not the right fit for it. Not that she's like ugly or whatever. That's not the problem. I just don't think that she's that character. I also feel like Joel's kind of miscast too. I love me some Pedro Pascal. He never felt like a Joel to me, not really. But I don't know. They've taken weird liberties here and there between the seasons, and they've extended out season 2 between 2 seasons, to cover the game. And so they're adding a bunch of perfunctory stuff in it. And I'm like, are we losing the plot here? Like, it just, I don't know. It feels like it's not a good adaptation. I think it's more than faithful. I think, but there's just some key creative issues I have with it that I'm just like, I'll continue to watch this because I like The Last of Us, but I don't know. Like it feels like I'm watching something that I've seen done better again. That's what it feels like. I mean, that's what it is. It's generally what, and there's no surprises for me because I know that spoilers, a big character dies. I mean, it's like the impetus for the show happening.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it really at all. The first season was fine, but you're better off playing the games. Like, you can literally compare scenes one to the other, and you're always going to compare the game and be like, this is just so much. It's just way better.
That first game is like a masterpiece. Like,
did you ever play the second one? You never did you?
No. Is that on PS4 or PS5?
Yeah, it's on PS4.
It's on PS4? Oh, I didn't even know it was on PS4, to be honest.
If you, it launched on PS4, and they made a Last of Us Part 2 remaster for it, and then they remastered 1 again and kind of remade it, and they called it Last of Us Part 1, which is wild. But yeah, maybe you play the second one at some point and we could talk about it, because I still have a lot to say about
some
that
people
game.
like that game, some people don't like that game, so I don't know how I'd feel about it, to be honest.
Very divisive, that second one.
Yeah. I like Joel as a character a lot, though, and if he's not in it, then I don't know if there's much there for me, but
you better like Ellie, because there's a lot of Ellie. And there's even more.
Ellie's
of
okay, but I mean, I'm a dudes man, so I just happened to like relate better with Joel as a character, but I thought he was a good
Ellie's
character.
good.
Yeah.
Ellie's a good character. I just think that my main issue is spoilers, of course. When Joel dies, they don't have someone interesting enough to fill his shoes. I guess even Ellie can't do it. Like, the void is so large. It's like how I felt like when like Black Panther died or something, and they made Wakanda Forever. You're like, okay, this is just like Sidekick the movie. Like, that's what The Last of Us 2 feels like. Like, Ellie was a plot critical character for sure, but like, I don't find her struggle interesting at all in the second one, like at all. And when it ends, oh my god, like nothing matters. Nothing. You play 30 hours of misery just for nothing to take place. It is literally the video game equivalent of blue balls, and maybe that's the point. I think it just sucks. I just think it sucks in major ways. No doubt it's a fantastic looking game, playing game, acted game. I think the story and the character decisions they make in Naughty Dog are just so misguided. So misguided. It's like they just missed the point. They missed the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it was just like an experimental thing. I'm still interested in what they've got going on with like that space game that they're doing.
Oh yeah. I'm so into that. That's gonna be sick. Yeah.
Naughty Dog, they're good at making games. Like that's the heck of it. Like, even if I don't end up liking Last of Us Part 2, I can almost guarantee I'm gonna enjoy it, like playing the game, like engaging with that game's systems, even if I'm not a fan of the story. Like, they just make
Give me a cool character in a sci-fi setting with the blade. I'm there. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And if it's made by Naughty Dog, you know it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
You know it's going to play well, and you know it's going to be awesome. And yeah, I like that actress that's playing the main character of that game, Tati Gabrielle, I think. She's also in that season of You I was talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, she plays a role in The Last of Us 2, season 2, I should say. And yeah, she unfortunately met her untimely end in the season 2. But yeah, she's heading up as the protagonist for that next game, and yeah, I'm really into it. I think it's good. I think it just looks sick. I can't wait to see more of that game, probably next year, or at the Game Awards, something like that. That, or they might just go silent for forever.
For sure, like that game, it's gonna save gaming.
Yeah, right. Well, Grand Theft Auto was supposed to, and then they delayed that. My God.
Yeah.
We never did talk about that. That trailer came out, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good trailer.
It's
really
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
I don't even like Grand Theft Auto, and it made me excited. Yeah.
It's supposed to save gaming, right? That everyone says we get XYZ before Grand Theft Auto, and now that's going to continue because we're still getting things before Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto,
we got a new pope. We got a new pope for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Right. Speaking of which, what happened to Elder Scrolls 6? Does that game exist? I remember getting announced years ago.
You know what? So they're doing a similar thing as the Starfield reveal. I really think they're going to show that game here in about 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
I think they're going to show something.
Yeah.
They did that with Starfield. They went dark for a year in between from release, like that. They had like a fake trailer, like a freaking logo trailer, and then they went dark for a certain amount of years, and then they came back with like actual something. And that's all they've been working on since Starfield came out. Like they're a one game studio. They do not spin out other games, and they're a pretty small studio too. Even with Microsoft's money, they don't really staff up. So I think they're going to show that game probably this year, and if I'm wrong, it's definitely going to be next year because they've been working on it for a long time. Yeah. They started production on that thing, I guarantee, while like Fallout 4 finished development. Like they have been talking and making that game for years.
I believe it. Fallout 4 was a good game.
Oh yeah. Fallout 4. I didn't like it initially, but I came around to it.
In the same way. I didn't like it initially, but I came around to it like, these are good systems. This is a good like upgrade to the systems in this game. The gunplay feels a lot better than the older titles. So. Yeah.
Honestly, it was just the dialogue options I didn't like. It felt like you had less choice.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are mods to like show that in PC stuff.
Yeah.
You can make that game better, and I think you need to. The vanilla experience is not ideal, but even console has like mods you can add. So I recommend playing it that way. You know.
Yeah. It's a good game, but yeah, I agree. The story and dialogue just wasn't as deep as the other games, but
and also a lot is lost by having a voice protagonist. Like I don't know. I don't need that. I don't need that in Bethesda game. Just have the guy just pick the dialogue and they're talking to the guy. Like I don't need it.
Oh, you're finally awake. Give me that guy. Give me that guy.
I wonder. So just as I wonder just as kind of like an addendum to this whole Bethesda conversation. So they came out with Elder Scrolls 4 basically with Virtuous. I wonder if they go back and do Morrowind, and if so, do they do Skyrim, like with that same form? I could see it. I really could. It would.
Why would they do Skyrim? They can't do Skyrim again. There ain't
they
no
definitely
way
could.
they do
No,
Skyrim
they
again.
could.
No, they can't do Skyrim again.
They are in the business of selling that game over and over. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't
They've
they?
already sold it again over and over. Like it's on everything.
Exactly.
It's on your toaster.
Exactly.
It's on your grandma's smart
Why wouldn't you just do it though?
Like it's there.
So you're telling me you would not play an even better looking and sounding version of Skyrim?
You can play Skyrim, because I know this, because I did this. You can play Skyrim, the audio game, on your Amazon Alexa.
Right.
You talk the commands into it, and you say Foos if you want to do your shout power. Or no, you don't say it. You say I want to shout, and then the Alexa says you say the power word Foo. And then and then as you progress in the game, you get the Ro power word, and then you get the Da power word, and then you can do Foos Ro Da,
Foos Ro Da.
Yeah. And you can do that, and it's like I remember distinctly, like, there was like a crab enemy that I was fighting, and the Alexa's explaining to me, like, hey, there's this crab enemy. What do you want to do? And I'd be like, oh, you know what I want to do. I want to shout at that thing. That's all I did. I would always just, every encounter, I'd shout at it.
Nice. That's the way to handle those things.
Yeah, you just...
something that they're definitely doing... Yeah, something they're definitely doing is they're remastering Fallout 3. They're doing the same thing with Oblivion. They have basically said that. And it's been shown in filings as well. It was in that NVIDIA leak. That's this Virtuous remaster. So, they're probably going to show that game. They're going to show... Microsoft shows kind of interesting. That's honestly in a couple weeks. So, I mean, it's June. We're halfway through May at this point. June's coming. I think they're like June 9th or 12th or something like that. They're going to show that game. They're going to show the new Gears of War E-Day game, almost certainly. They're going to show the Gears of War remaster for PlayStation there too. They're going to, they're going to show everything. They're multi-platform too, so that is insane. That's insane. Yeah. That you can freaking play Gears of War on a PlayStation. That's how it was before they acquired the rights to it back in the day,
really?
When it came out. Yeah, because basically Gears of War came out about a year after the 360. It came out in 2006. The 360 came out in 2005. Basically, like, Gears of War was the first killer app on there. Before Halo 3, and they basically locked up the exclusivity to that thing because when people played it at demos, it had PlayStation symbols for some of the inputs. So they were making that game multi-platform until it wasn't. And for the longest time it was an exclusive game, but now Microsoft is done with that.
Yeah, that really was a killer app back in the HD era, and I never got into it. Like, even when I got my Xbox 360, it had Gears of War 3 on there, and I tried to play it, and I'm like, this isn't really my thing. I'm just going to go back to Halo.
You know what? When the new one comes out, like the remaster, we should play that. It'll probably be a budget game. And it's cross-play with everything, cross-progression even, I think.
Maybe if I play that with
everywhere.
a friend, I could probably get through that, but I don't think I could get through that.
Yeah, it's a
by
great
myself.
game.
Yeah. The Halo games I've
prefer...
played through, like, the stories of all of those by myself and with friends, and, like, love those games to pieces. My gosh, those are fantastic games. But
Halo Reach especially is my favorite. I love Halo.
I never got around to Reach. That was the one I never got around to. Yeah. I played 1, 2, and 3, but I never got around to Reach. No.
That's what we need to do one day. So we need to play Halo Reach on Legendary.
A lot of people say Reach is the best one. I played through 1, 2, and 3 on Legendary, but
it's the freaking Rogue One of Halo games. Like, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're missing so much. Halo Reach is like...
Yeah, I love Halo. Like, that's like my thing. I just never got around to Reach.
It's like the Revenge of the Sith of the Halo games. Like, everything happens in that game. Yeah. It's so awesome. It's the fall of Reach. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting. Anyway, that's all I've been watching. Since we're still talking about that. So you've been watching more To Be Hero. Anything else besides that?
Yeah, To Be Hero X. No, it's been pretty good. That show has like they got so much money in that thing. Like, I was trying to figure it out.
It's a really sharp-looking show.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, right? And because my friends and I have been watching this, and we've been watching it together in like a sort of a group call, and
right.
We were like, this thing, like, it's animated like so amazingly. Like, the story isn't bad. Yeah. Like, it's not like the greatest story I've ever told, but like, it's not a bad story. It's pretty interesting. It has like some like shock value to it in places and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth your time, worth watching. But like, the animation is just so pristine. They've got like that really nice like arcane style like 3D watercolor sort of going on for like the animation, and it's
right.
in the like every single episode they'll have like a like a flashback that switches to like a full like art almost like an art nouveau sort of like style, like it's so weird.
It looks like it looks very French. It honestly looks very French.
Yeah.
It's very. It looks like Fortiche made that thing.
But it's
the guys that made Arcane.
Yeah, it is a entirely Chinese. I think the term is donghua, and it's a Chinese animation and made by several different Chinese studios. One of those studios that works on this one had done the original two To-Be Hero shows, and so it's sort of like a I guess an anthology of shows like that are the first two are related to each other sort of, but they're not related at all to this one. Like I haven't seen any influence whatsoever from those other two in this new one, so it's kind of weird. But I've watched the first two, and I'm currently watching this new one as it's airing, and like my friends and I are like every week we're like at the edge of our seats, like, man, what's gonna happen next? We don't know. It's really really interesting show. Highly recommend it. But I think that the thing that I'm sticking with is that they did the first two to try and like get their studio together, sort of like figure out how to do this animation stuff, and those two were like fine shows. They probably had like a smaller budget, but they were fine shows. I thought I liked them all right. And then like now that they've got some shows under their belt, they're like, okay, we're gonna funnel a ton of money into this thing, and we're just gonna like make this thing work. Like we're gonna make this thing good, and they have several other studios as well helping with this particular show, and so it's like a multi-studio show, and I think that that's just like part of like sort of China's like media strategy going forward, because like they've already had several advancements and leaps in their own like domestic media output. Because I think now like the highest grossing animated film of all time is a Chinese film. It's no longer like any sort of like Disney movie anymore. It was a movie that came out of China domestically and was created domestically in China. So I think they're just like Disney was trying to kind of has been for a long time, their strategy has been to cater to the Chinese audience and sell to that sort of Chinese audience, and so they will actively censor things that are like sort of I guess for lack of a better word, like liberal ideas in their sort of movies to try to appeal to that audience, and then China's just like, we don't care, we're just gonna like create our own media and consume that, thank you, good day. And so that's kind of shooting Disney in their own foot. Like they need to pick a side, like honestly, like pick an audience.
Well, it's just the thing, like China is like is the biggest media market in the world when it comes to film. But like there a lot of media is very America forward, America focused. Like we are like the entertainment mecca of the world. Like we produce the most music, the most not the best or even highest quality, but like the most popular music, movies, TV, and games. I mean, we source almost everything. It's like maybe our main export, like really, and like the world's media is our media for the most part. So it's interesting to hear you say that stuff. They're just like, we're gonna focus on our own stuff.
I really think that's their strategy going forward. It's like, we don't want to deal with you guys anymore. We're just gonna cut out the middleman and produce our own stuff domestically.
For sure.
So, it's been an interesting show though that's came out of this whole thing, and so like, I'll just watch this thing, But like thinking about it, like economically, I'm like, that's what's going on, I bet. Okay. So, because for a long
Yeah.
time, we were like, is this like a mobile game tie-in? Like, what's going on here?
It looks like one.
But it's not.
It really looks like
it
a
has
mobile game,
nothing
yeah.
to do with any mobile game whatsoever. There is no mobile game whatsoever involved. It is
Interesting.
just
That's pretty
them
interesting.
trying to flex their economy. That's where I'm at with it. Like, they're flexing their
Interesting.
economy in this show.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looked really, really sharp. So.
It's sharp. It's a good show. Like, yeah, gives Arcane a run for its money.
Oh man, Arcane is so good though.
It is a great show.
Yeah, that's all I got. Do you have any other stuff you want to kind of talk about or plug?
No, I can't think anything off the top of my head.
That's a podcast then, dude. I think that's a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be finishing up Final Fantasy VI, because I'm just doing the grind right before going to fight Kefka. So I'm trying to get my dudes all leveled up, like strong enough to do that. I don't know where I need to go. Like I said, they can all spam Ultima, so it's probably good enough. But
you'll probably be all right. Yeah, I'll be hopping on that pretty shortly.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, Doom: The Dark Ages came out today, so I will be playing, and I'll probably have finished that game by the next time we record. I'm very excited to play that.
Yeah.
It was my most anticipated game until Clair Obscur came out and just blew my expectations out of the water. I mean, yeah, I'm very excited to play Doom. And then after that, I'm going to do my retrospective along with my other reviews I need to record. So, a lot in the chamber for both of us. I still intend to put out a crash course at some point. I kind of want to talk about the games media contraction that's been happening. Where basically, like, Polygon got gutted. Giant Bomb, some key creative people left and then came back with a stipulation that when they left, they could buy back Giant Bomb and make it independent after years of corporate ownership.
Yeah.
Some wild stuff is going on
Yeah.
in the games industry. And there's even more people on Patreon and Substack than ever for independent games media coverage. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. I'm not quite sure what form that will take, but that's kind of been the idea I've been having. I feel like I have enough to kind of talk at length about it.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I think with that sort of stuff, like we're trying to kind of get ourselves in sort of that ecosystem as well as like a small little like doohickey sort of thing, right? And so it's fun to look at, you know, like what the big fish are up to, and like there's a lot of crazy stuff that I've even heard about, like going on with that sort of and I think a lot of it is for the better, like going independent and getting away from like the big, like, you know, clickbaity, like corporate sort of mandated articles, and like talking about what people want to talk about and inform their, you know, listeners about the real reality of these things, because there has been a lot of shady deals that have happened and gone through, and like a lot of like back and forth between like the journalists that are like, hey, we want to like speak the truth, and then like these corporations are like, no, you're not allowed to speak the truth, you gotta sell this crappy product to people, you gotta sell them Bubsy 3D. Sorry, that's
basically the issue with Giant Bomb, and I'll talk about it. Giant Bomb is near and dear to my heart. I love that site. I paid attention to almost everything they did for the better part of 20 years. Like, I adore their output. Their roster of talent has always been second to none. They're like an incubation chamber for like people that know what they're doing when they talk about video games.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had multiple people on staff that have spun off and done their own things that are as big, if not bigger, than Giant Bomb in some ways. It's a great history of that was born out of, you know, corporate, you know, honestly, fuckery. I mean, that's really what happened.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it was born out of Jeff Gerstmann getting fired from GameSpot for not changing the review for Kane and Lynch when it was poorly reviewed, because the company had ad money for Kane and Lynch on the front page, and so promoting a game that had poor reviews while you had ad stuff up was kind of a conflict of interest they found. So they fired him for it, and it was a bad deal. It was a very public situation. From the ashes, he built Giant Bomb, ran that for a lot of years, and then left and did his own thing. But yeah, it's been Giant Bomb under this noose of corporate management for years and years. You know, so see them go fully independent with this new batch of really talented folks like Minotti and Jeff Grubb, the guys that we like. It's really cool stuff, and they own it 100%, and they can do whatever they want. And basically, like the end of the Bondcast era under the corporate ownership is that they were levying like brand safe guidelines where you couldn't say certain words or you had to watch content, like, and they had like this big like FU podcast where they just went like, oh, we're being brand safe, and they were like, oh, you can't talk about that, that's not brand safe. And it ultimately got taken down. It got taken down because it was such a stink with corporate. Basically their boss's boss got a new boss and things kind of went haywire. And then the two corporate heads left, Jeff honestly, Jeff Backlar, Jeff Grubb, with the stipulation that they would buy back the company and make it independent. So
awesome,
crazy stuff. It's been kind of a saga lately, but it feels like they're making their way.
I'm gonna have to
making their way in
check out some of their new stuff then, if they're putting out some interesting new stuff. I haven't checked it out in a while, but it's been quite a while since I've checked out their content, to be honest. But I do like Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti at the very least. I love their podcast when we were both listening to them weekly. That was still listen to them. I haven't missed one in like 4 or 5 years. I mean, I just listen to them all the time. I just stopped being able to keep up with them, but
I understand.
They've always had great content that I've always like. I mean, in one way or another, we've sort of stylized our podcasts around like that sort of like style of like podcasts, so like conversational sort of podcasts. So
conversational, uncensored podcast about real stuff. I mean, real video games, real opinions. And like without Giant Bomb, I am not the person I am. You know, like Giant Bomb is so integral to me. It being like it's shaped the type of humor I like, the type of games I choose to interact with. Like they are so vital to my, late teenage, early adult years. Like their E3 conference watch-alongs and couches where they talk to like Phil Spencer from Xbox and stuff, like that stuff was just vital to my understanding of the industry, and the fact that they're still doing it is nothing short of a miracle. They've come back from the dead multiple times, and this is the most miraculous one of those. So I'm very passionate about this topic. I might want to do something about it soon.
That'd be great.
TBD. So
it's it's good stuff. It's games journalism's important. Good games journalism, not like corporate mandated like lie to you games journalism. So, and that's
brand safe, guides only journalism, baby.
That's what I mean. Here you're just gonna get like a couple guys that know a little bit about games, and we just like to talk about them, but nothing too fancy here. But if you enjoy it, great. That's what we want to hear. We're not going to lie to you about games. We might joke around about games, but we're certainly not going to lead you the wrong way about them. So
no, definitely not. And I will say, if you have some constructive criticism or things you want brought up on the pod, please comment on some stuff, just so we can see it. Like I want to hear more from you guys, kind of to see what we need to focus on, what we want to do. I've noticed more people listen to Spotify than YouTube.
This one, that's for sure. This one was just a wild ride.
We had a little Mr. Toad's wild ride on this one, but we had a good time. That's a podcast, I think. I think that's good for me. Any closing thoughts for you besides your Final Fantasy stuff coming up?
No, just keep gaming, keep drifting, and stick it to the man. That's what I have to say.
Yes. Keep gaming always. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. See you.